in, everybody, and welcome to Upper St. Clair Panther Stadium. Tonight, the 1-0 Panthers are hosting a very powerful traditional matchup here as the North Hills Indians come to town. There's been a great rivalry, a great tradition between these two programs, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic game this evening. My guest tonight, we are really honored and privileged to have him here, was a great player here, 2002 graduate. He's also been a football coach, a basketball coach, a baseball coach, and he's an administrator here. And I cannot wait to work with him tonight and learn a little bit more about the game of football. Brad Wilson, thank you for joining me, my friend.
Thank you, Gavin. It's a pleasure to be here, and looking forward to a great game here. And, you know, North Hills, they have a tradition of being tough. And so this is going to be a tough, hard-nosed football game tonight, and excited to see how the Panthers can pull it out here.
Yeah, so one of the sort of time-honored truisms of football is the biggest jump you make in terms of improvements is from week 0 to week 1 or week 1 to week 2. Has that been the case in your experience, particularly with like a young football team as St. Clair is?
Yeah, I think especially when you have youth, it's going to take a little bit of time here. And, you know, we're early on in the season, and last week we had a lot of guys from Upper St. Clair who were getting their first varsity action. So definitely expect a lot here coming through in the next few weeks, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, what they come out with this week especially.
So we got the captains out on the field now. We got the coin toss happening. The Panther seniors on the captains this year are Marco Carone, number 78. I believe Evan Taylor is captain number 21. We have, I think it's tough to tell from this angle, but I think Cam Phillips, 44, and then Mason Chambers, number 5, are our 4 captains. So it looks like so St. Clair won the toss. They defer. North Hills will receive the football in the first half. Brad, is there anything you can pinpoint in terms of, you know, from week 0 last week against Norwin that you think is kind of an easier fix, an easy cleanup that you expect to see a little bit better this evening?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the game last week, it really was the first 5 minutes of the game, Upper St. Clair dominated, and the last 5 minutes of the game, Upper St. Clair dominated. It was the in-between. And I think really a lot of it is just clean up, get a little bit steadier here, and again, experience should help out quite a bit. So, you know, looking forward to seeing, especially on the offensive end of things, how that plays out.
So we both talked to some of the coaches this week. You talked about how North Hills sort of had a RPO-type offense, a little bit of a multiple offense. They have a big line. What kind of challenges do you think that poses for the Panther defense?
Yeah, I think ultimately, you know, football is one in the trenches. That's one of those common things you hear said. And even with the spread offenses that we have in modern football, you still need to win up front. So it's going to be really important for our defense to be able to match that physicality up front and force North Hills to go out wide and do some other things that they might not want to do quite as much. So that's going to be really important for our defense, though, is to win that matchup up front.
And the Panthers do have some experience on the line. Nate Stoll and Marco Carone have been starters. They've played a lot of snaps. Brock Gillespie's a guy who played some last year. But, you know, again, 2 sophomores on the line of scrimmage, and, you know, you just kind of hope it keeps getting better. I thought both Mason Geyer and Bobby Fleckenstein played pretty well for their first career start last week. So, you know, onward and upward. Interestingly here, Jacobo Echeverria is going to be our long kicker in terms of the handling the kickoffs. He'll also handle the punt responsibilities. He has a huge leg. As you know, Mr. Automatic Bennett Henderson will probably do the place kicking. And, Brad, who are we looking for here on North Hills in terms of kind of the dangerous guys?
Yeah, so North Hills has a few different guys that are kind of keys in this game. Number 4, Julius Green, he's their main tailback, and he's an effective runner. Somebody definitely watch out for there. And then 88 Logan Johnson is going to line up as an H-back, kind of like your old school fullback, but he will also line up wide sometimes too. And he's a passing threat, interestingly enough, for a guy who's a pretty big boy. So those are going to be the guys that we really want to see how we match up with and how we adjust to.
He's also a good hooper, Logan Johnson, so multi-sport guy. And if you're wondering why Jacobo's handling the kickoffs, you just saw it. That ball was with really no wind whatsoever. That ball was basically out of the end zone. So North Hills will start on their own, what's the 20 now in high school?
It is.
As I learned last week, some of the rules I continue to have to be updated on. They're different than, let's say, high school.
Pushing from behind and pass interference, they all have different little nuances to them in high school, so yes.
That's why I'm thankful you're here. So as we set the scene, this is Connor Davis, the quarterback. He played a lot last year. He is a senior. Green, as we talked about, that's Julius Green. Now he's going to the receiver. Now it's going to be basically 5 receivers. Johnson and Green are both in the slot. And now we got a motion man. They're taking their time, almost the entire play clock. They're going right up the middle here, but boy, it was closed down immediately. Great stuff from Nate Stoll and Brock Gillespie to close it down, and then Cam Phillips came up, laid the wood. Good stuff from the Panthers on snap 1.
Yeah, there was a lot of motion, a lot of distraction, and ultimately it was just a QB keeper. And our defense snuffed that out, and Cam Phillips just made a heck of a stick right there. That was a great hit.
So we've got Carone, Gillespie, and Stoll once again on the line of scrimmage. The linebackers are Phillips, 44, Banbury, the freshman, number 6, and Van Helman, number 23. We'll set the secondary next stoppage we get, but we've got 2nd and 10 here for the Indians. Going to be a draw to Green. And it looked like they sort of shot it in from the corner there. But Green did a nice job keeping his legs moving, got about 4.
Yeah, that was an interesting play because quarterback had to come out that play, Connor Davis, because his helmet got popped off on the last play. So we actually have a different quarterback in already, Kelly McCarthy here. So 3rd and long here, sophomore quarterback. Good opportunity for Upper St. Clair defense here.
Yeah, he's a sophomore, and he's a lot smaller. Uh-oh, did we get a jump? No. Okay, Gillespie moved a little but did not breach the line of scrimmage. So I don't know if that was an intentional hard count. Probably was.
I think it was, yep.
So they are not hesitating to use a lot of the play clock. We might have a quicker night than we had last time. He fakes it to Green. Stoll's there. Stoll's all over him. He's going to keep trying to get to the outside. Bywalski's got him. Charlie's going to get him down, and good pursuit. Number 58, Nate Stoll, stood him up, got all the way to the boundary. Charlie did a nice job not breaking contain on the wing, and the Panthers get about a 5-yard loss and force a punt.
Yeah, one of the great things, when you have fast defensive linemen, they can spread the field extremely well by stringing those plays out, and that's what we just saw right there. Forced the quarterback to bend backward, and he couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, we gave Nate Stoll the unofficial MVP last week, and there was a reason for that. He was all over the place. I've coached Nate in hoops. He is really athletic for a big kid. All right, here's the punt. It's kind of a low but reasonably effective. Oh, it's going to take a big North Hills bounce. Not Evan Taylor's fault. He really couldn't do anything there. But 34-yard line of the Panthers, not bad field position, but probably more importantly, 3 and out for the Panthers. Very encouraging.
Yeah, that's huge. You want to get started on the right foot here, and anytime you can get a team to go 3 and out to start a game and also have great field position, because being at 35, not a bad thing at all for us. So let's hope that the Panthers offense can take care of business here on this first drive.
All right, so let's look who the Panthers have in the football game here. It looks like Mason Chambers once again is our tailback. Ethan Hellman, 13, the sophomore. And we've got 4 receivers essentially. We got Dallum, we've got Bryce Jones, we've got, looks like Angle, and this is Phillips is a wingback in motion. Here comes Chambers up the gut. He's going to try to pop through. He does a nice job spinning off and gets about 4.5. Not a bad first down gain for the Panthers.
Not at all. And Mason Chambers falls forward. That's the key. Anytime you're back and you can get yourself an extra couple of yards by falling forward, that's awesome to be at 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Alex was really stressing last week in terms of getting those positive gains on first down, which we did in the first half, not as much in the second. Here's Hellman. Little slant to Phillips. Going to be a first down. Nice little simple play. About a 6-yard gain, and the Panthers move the sticks.
Yeah, fell into a soft zone there. Got a first down. That's a great way to get Ethan going here and also to get Cam involved in the game.
Yeah, Panthers are going to go tempo again, which they look to do. And frankly, the game was a little disjointed last week. They weren't able to do it as much, but it looks like a good start. Looked like a run blitz there. But Chambers again, and Brad talked about it. He falls forward, takes the first contact, and gets almost 5 yards.
Yeah, tough runner. You know, the offensive line had a good push, you know, and falling forward for 4 yards, that's a good start.
Yeah, so very nice start here for the Panthers. We'll set the line. We've got from left to right, Carone, Stoll, Geyer, Gillespie, and Fleckenstein. Here comes Chambers again. He's busting through forward. He's busting hard. He's going to be very close to the lead stick. It'll depend on the spot.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give him the first down here. There we go. And, yeah, great tough run. I mean, Mason's running through contact. He's falling forward. This is great. Great to see the power running like that.
We did a lot of running back by committee yesterday, last week, which you would expect in week 0. But Alex was sort of getting frustrated that he thought Mason needed to get into a bit more of a rhythm, and he thought he was really effective. So maybe we'll see that tonight. You just never know how adjustments are. Here comes Ethan. That's another quick slant. That is going to be Peter Engel, who was very clutch last week, and Peter Engel is going to get 9 or 10 yards. I think that's actually a first down as well. So he's really taking what the defense gives him. Simple stuff.
Yeah, quick stick there, and you know when the defensive backs are going to play that far off, that's what's going to happen. A lot of underneath passing.
So this is Chambers again, and there's the big guy. There's the 330-pounder, Jamar Allen, who had enough of that, and that's going to be about a 2-yard loss. So that's the first really negative play or ineffective play that the Panthers have had all day so far.
Yeah, he jumped the snap count there. I mean, it seemed like he was very prepared for that. That was a good, nice defensive play. Just got off the ball really fast.
So Panthers are now going double tight end. Big Michael Albert, number 87, has checked into the game. And, it's a little bit of a heavier set here for the Panthers on 2nd and 13. They got an out here. Nice ball from Ethan Hellman. This is Bryce Jones, the sophomore, who can really move, and they got all of it back pretty much. That's going to be about an 11-yard gain, setting up 3rd and 3, and that's exactly what you want on 2nd and long, Brad.
Oh, for sure. And especially in this scenario, we're pretty close here to 4-down territory, quite honestly. And the secondary is playing so far off that's going to open up those routes quite a bit. You might see another one right now.
Ethan looks really sharp so far. Not difficult throws, but looks really sharp. Here comes Mason. He's got Nate Stoll ahead of him. Big hole. I'll tell you what, number 73, Bobby Fleckenstein, did a great job moving that left end out of there. Big gap, and Mason hits it hard. Big gain. Panthers inside the 20.
Yeah, kudos to the offensive line right now. They're really creating holes. They're creating space, and that's part of the reason Mason's able to fall forward is because he can get that forward momentum going. So very, very nice job so far on this drive.
Yeah, Coach Donati alluded to me the film wasn't the best last week, so it might be a little fired up, showing something to prove. That's a nice pass to Angle. And again, this is simple stuff as Brad talked about. They're getting room, but these are 5-6 yard gains. These are beautiful first down plays.
Yeah, I mean, every play except for the negative yardage has been 4 yards or more. So if you're averaging 4 more yards on every play, you're going to be in good shape.
Really encouraging. Peter Angle, the senior, has been really steady so far at the receiver position. He's doing a great job. So we got 2nd and 5 here at about the 12-yard line of the Indians. Fakes it. Oh, here comes a bootleg. Hellman's getting upfield. He gets popped, but he gets very close to the first down. I don't know. It'll depend on the spot, but he gets all the way to the 7. I like that play call. They were sucking in the middle a little much, and he popped outside, did a really nice job.
Yeah, it actually looked like it might have been an RPO where he had an option downfield, but I think he saw that he was going to get the first down, and it's definitely a good play here to keep it going here.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan is so athletic. I know he's not as much of a runner as Jules is, but really an athletic kid. Here comes Mason, up the gut, powering through. North Hills does a pretty good job there, limits him to about 1.5. So we're going to have about 2nd and goal from 5.5. It'll be interesting to see whether there'll be less room here on the pass routes because, we're getting closer to the goal line here.
Yeah, you're going to see everything squeezed a little bit here because you're not worried about getting beat deep at this point in time. Yeah.
So it's interesting here. They've been going tempo here pretty consistently throughout this drive, but they're taking a little bit more time here.
A lot of press coverage now. If you look at the defensive back, they're playing very tight, which is definitely affecting how we're setting up and seeing the field right now.
Yeah, seemed to be a little bit of confusion there. Ethan saw something he didn't like. He's coming over to the sidelines. Not a problem, obviously. Certainly a first-half timeout. On a drive like this, you want to really, because you've sort of taken the momentum after stopping them on a 3-and-out, you really want to get points, and you'd love to get 6.
For sure. If we can, if the Panthers can punch it in right here, that would be a great start to the game. 3-and-out, then a touchdown. So this is very important, and it's definitely worth the timeout if you don't like what we have out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They've sort of had a very similar personnel grouping for other than the one time they went big for pretty much this entire drive. It'll be interesting to see after the timeout if they come out with anything different because – if there's one thing I know about Mike, he's got some mad scientist in him. He always comes out with something that I've never really seen before. That's why I really enjoy watching his teams play.
That's one of the things that's interesting about football now versus, a few years back is there's so much strategy in the coaching and trying to figure out numbers and matchups and how do I give myself an advantage. So, yeah, you're exactly right where there's a lot of creativity. It's not the same game it used to be.
I've said many times I'm glad I don't coach football because it seems to be a little more obvious like what the coaches are trying to do. We're having a great night or we're having a terrible night in hoops. You have no idea if I'm doing stupid stuff.
Very true.
Here comes Hellman. He's rolling to his left. He's got a little space. He's throwing it up. He's got a man. He's got a touchdown. That's Bryce Jones with a nice fingertip catch. Beautiful tissue paper all over that ball. Beautiful touch. And Hellman to Jones. Panthers strike for 6 early and take a 6-0 lead with 5:50 to go in the first quarter.
That is a beautiful pass by Ethan Hellman right there. That is not an easy ball right there. They had a flood route, 2 levels going to the sideline, and he threw a perfect ball to Bryce Jones, and Bryce kept his feet in. Great job.
I love to watch the stuff that Ethan Hellman does because the maturity of him as a sophomore, you almost forget because he's played so many snaps how mature he is as a quarterback.
He's very, very talented.
That's Mr. Automatic Bennett Henderson booming the extra point through. And the Panthers, not that we didn't have a great start last week, because we did, but really nice start for the Panthers tonight. Really nice response.
Yeah, and I think you said it right there, which is, we did have a great start last week too, so it'll be important for the Panthers to keep the foot on the gas right now on both sides of the ball.
So we've got this is an important part of the broadcast. We have an audience request right now as we have a break. Josh Helmrich, our former quarterback, would like Brad to tell the story about his first varsity action. Perhaps it was against Baldwin. Brad, you want to tell us that story while we got a break here?
Sure. So my sophomore year, I didn't play the first few games of varsity. Then I started returning kicks and punts, and then got into a game the week before and had a few touchdowns. So I became a little bit more part of the varsity team. Going to Baldwin, they were very physical. And I was getting beat up pretty good. I want to say I had about 20 touches in the game, and I came over to the sideline toward the end of the game, and Josh was one of our ball boys, and my hand was swollen up where you couldn't tell I had knuckles, and it looked like I had a tennis ball in my hand. And I said to Josh, "What do you think?" And he was pretty flabbergasted by what my hand looked like, and he thought that it looked very painful, and I told him I actually couldn't feel it, which I couldn't at the time. But yeah, there's funny things. These games are physical. I mean, we look at some of the hitting that these guys take, and they act like it's nothing. I don't think normal humans could imagine how painful some of that can be. But
well, it's funny that you say that. So the year I was very tight with our squad, a basketball squad, that most of them were football players. Ethan Dowell and Luke Banbury and those guys asked me to be on the sideline for their opener against South Fayette, so I agreed. I will never watch another game from the sideline. It was so violent. I just couldn't believe it. I'm going to stay up in the booth. This was very, very crazy how physical it was. I mean, people were just popping each other, noises.
There was a coach that I used to coach with who said this is not a contact sport, it's a collision sport, and that is very true. There are collisions.
It was unbelievable. All right, here we go. Jacobo's kicking us off again. He boomed the last one way through the end zone. That is also going to be well through the end zone.
That's a weapon.
Oh, it's a huge weapon.
Jacobo being able to do that is such a weapon. There's no chance of a return. Putting it at the 20 is as deep as you're going to ever expect it to be anyways, and then you totally eliminate any chance. And with the rules in high school, even if you only put it 1 yard deep, they're not able to return it even if they want to. So it's an automatic if you can put it in there, and that's a great thing for the Panthers to have.
Yeah, Alex talked about this a little bit last week, how just due to some of the rule changes and due to limitations in practice times, you can't really go live on kick return, for example, very much. So, the opportunity for a big return is high.
Oh, for sure.
And so that's a huge weapon. And, kudos to Jacobo. He's only a sophomore, and he has a massive ceiling as a kicker from what the coaches tell me.
Yeah, his leg is very, very powerful. It's very impressive.
All right, so Davis is back in here, and this is going to be a handoff. And, that's a nice play by – who is that?
Cam Phillips.
Cam Phillips again. Boy, Cam Phillips, he really aggressively shoots the gap, and he makes big plays. That was Dason Towler, the sort of fullback, and he didn't have much there.
No, and Phillips came in like a bullet right there. And, yeah, that's a great tackle. That's a great play, and it's also a great tone setter too when you're that physical.
Yeah, his grandpa was a heck of a football player from what I'm told. I never got to meet him, but he would be absolutely proud of the way Cam plays. All right, 2nd and 11. Oh, he steps and fakes it. He's going to go down the field, but Nate Stoll is in there again. He looked like he was getting held a little bit, and the quarterback's just going to throw it away. Nate Stoll, I'm telling you right now, every play it seems like he is somewhat disrupting what is happening on offense.
Anytime you don't have to blitz but can bring pressure, it helps the defense tremendously. And when you have a guy like Nate up front who's going to cause chaos no matter if you single team or double team him, that's very important because then you have more guys you can drop back into the pass coverage, and that's what we saw there. He created problems without us needing to bring extra guys. So
the secondary, we've had some subs. It looks like this might be the nickel package. Zach Salapow, the senior, number 3, is out here at the corner position. Nico DeRazio, number 4, is sort of at the safety spot. He is a sophomore as well. And then Gianni DeSora is in the other corner spot on the boundary. Davis once again fakes. Looked like a screen. It was. There was really nobody there, but Cam Phillips was just all over it again. And it seems like the Panthers are really getting off the ball well tonight, Brad. Very impressed so far with the defense.
Yeah, they are very prepared. It's very clear that they know what they're looking for. They're in good places, and then on top of that, they're arriving with a little bit of a mean streak, wanting to deliver some hits, which is important.
All right, so looks like Evan Taylor, who's a really shifty guy, has moved up a little bit after the the last punt, which was not a strong punt. He's now only about 30 yards away. Yeah. See if that'll help him maybe field this one. They're doing a nice job directional, but Evan's going to come up and take it. Oh, he did a really nice job catching that on the run. That's just terrific stuff. Not a huge gain, but save field position, and now the Panthers have the ball in North Hills territory at the 39. That's great field position.
Yeah, and I give Evan a lot of credit on that one. I did punt returning. That was one of the big hits I took in that Baldwin game alluded to earlier, was on a punt return. When you are running and trying to catch the ball, you don't know where you're going to be hit from. And him catching it keeps the ball from rolling. Him catching it and getting an extra 5 yards. 5 yards is very nice as well. So good job by Evan on that play.
Mike McKenzie suggesting that the touchdown was the 73 route, Coach Render. Is that accurate? The 73 route? This is what McKenzie's telling me.
We would have called that 881 flood. That's actually
Mikey, Coach is saying stick to golf. I can vouch for his golf credentials. That I can do. We played in the same pairing at least 1 year in golf, and he's a lot better than I am. Was and is.
I won't make any comments about golf. Don't worry.
No, I can't.
That's definitely not my skill set.
Hey, I was on 3 Whitfield Championship golf teams. It just so happens that I had a lot of talent around me. Let's say that. Thanks to Phil and Timmy and all those guys, I got to. I still have medals that maybe I didn't earn through anything but Esprit de Corps.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Be a part of it.
Hey, Coach, you ever see Denny Phillips play football? Was he as good as everybody said? Yeah, the grandpa. No? Because the Phillips lived in my neighborhood, and this is Cam Phillips's, his dad and his dad's siblings. And Coach said his grandpa refereed some of his games when Coach was at Uniontown. I'm sure that was a joy to see you on the sidelines. Always cool, calm, and collected. Never mad at the officials at all. All right, so the Panthers have forced him 3 and out twice here. Now, I'm not going to get too far ahead of ourselves. If you remember last week, they got up 14-0, and I was already declaring the game over. So I'm going to try to reel it in a little bit, but this is a really nice start from the Panthers. All right, Hellman again. This is Evan Taylor now. Oh, quick slant. Boy, it just seemed like a bit of a miscommunication maybe, because it looked a little open.
Yeah. It kind of had an RPO feel to it. Slant pattern just overthrew him there a little bit, but good idea to attack the middle of the field and really the goal is to keep North Hills on their heels, right? You don't want them starting to send the house too much, so that'll keep them in check.
Now Evan Taylor, the senior, is the tailback now. Oh, that's a nice cut. Another nice cut. Did you see that jump cut to the outside? He's going to get out of bounds with a first down. The first cut to the middle was beautiful. The second jump cut to the outside was incredible.
Yeah, he's very, very quick. And this is one of those things that when you're in a high school setting, you bring the power, you bring the cutback and the shiftiness. It really can keep a defense very uncomfortable. So nice change of pace there.
Yeah, that was really impressive from the senior. It was great to see. So first down. North Hills 27. This is Taylor again. Couldn't quite get out of the grasp of the North Hills defensive lineman, but he's going to get 2, a positive gain, no issues there.
Yeah. Still moving in the right direction here.
So, Brad, when do you think it's time, for example, like they had the flea flicker last time, what do you see to sort of figure it's time to take a chance here down the field?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. Honestly, when I look at the way the North Hills is playing defense, they're off so far. Like, for instance, if you look at the upper corner there, he's at 7 to 8 yards off already and backpedaling, so it's a little bit difficult in those settings.
Evan Taylor's cuts are so good right now that you're actually hearing audible oohs and ahs from the stands, which you don't hear very often. Granted, some of the small guys, the jitterbug guys, look kind of more shifty, but he's really good in terms of his cutting full speed.
Very shifty, and he causes problems.
This is 3rd and 2. This is Taylor again. He's got a lot of room. Boy,
great cut.
That was beautiful, and I got to give a shout-out to the lead block there. Jonathan Stein, number 24, who's another legacy Panther, did a great job at the point of attack pushing his guy back. And, Evan just took what the defense gave him. Another first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, and Carter, I know Carter from baseball, Stein, great block there. And Evan had a great cut upfield. 3rd and 2, you got to get yourself upfield, and he did. And did a great job, get the first down, keep the chains moving here.
So he goes by Carter because his dad's John?
You got it.
Makes sense. Okay. This is Hellman rolling left again. He's being chased, and he's going to get sacked. just didn't quite have an opportunity to throw it away there, I don't think. Pretty good pursuit from North Hills. Not the end of the world, only lost about 2. But what are the grounding rules, Brad, in high school? I was going to ask, could he have thrown that out of bounds outside the pocket?
I'm going to be honest with you and say I actually don't know anymore. And I just had a conversation with an official last week, and we were talking about all the different rule changes, and we discussed how there's nuances to that rule, and I don't know what the new ones are because that actually changed again this year, so I'm not sure what they are.
I feel like he could have thrown it out of bounds if that was the rule.
He had a little bit of difficulty, though, because unfortunately on that play, his throwing arm was the one being tacked. So
the good news is the big guy just got drawn off sides with the hard count. So
yep. And we talked about it earlier. When he had the tackle for a loss, you could tell that he was really trying to jump snap count. So that was a great opportunity to move from being in a really bad situation on 2nd and long to now 2nd and medium.
Now, maybe if you're a huge guy and aren't like the most super athletic, you're going to try to guess a little bit and try to sort of equalize things.
Yeah, and you know what? You'll find that anytime you can get an advantage, you're going to find it, right? And if he thought he could do it, good move.
Dante Corey's now in the backfield, fakes it in. That's a beautiful throw, a timing route to Bryce Jones. Boy, before he even broke out of his cut, that ball was on his hands. He did a nice job catching it down to the 2-yard line. Really another nice drive for the Panthers.
Great pass, great catch, all good. It's very difficult on those timing routes to do anything, especially when you're off the ball like that, because the coverage really was not poor. It was just very well executed on the offensive end.
So the Panthers going a little bit big here. You got big Mike Albert coming in the game, 87. You have Beck Shields, 22, who's another big physical sophomore. And this is going to be Corey and Banbury in the backfield. This is Dante Corey. Makes a nice little cut. Can he get down to the goal line?
They call it a fumble.
Oh, no, he fumbled the football. And it is going to be North Hills football. That is a giant momentum shift. Boy, as he was going into the end zone, crossing the plane, the ball popped out. North Hills has recovered, and boy, what a big momentum shift.
It kind of seemed like he was trying to reach across the end zone, and I'll be honest, I've done that many times and been told many times, or did that many times. I was told many times not to do it, and there is risk with that, but it's going to be on the 20 now.
It's got to be hard from an instinct standpoint if you see the goal line that close. It's got to be hard not to want to reach out the ball.
For sure, and that's a part of the game. Sometimes the ball bounces a little bit off, and sometimes the helmet hits the wrong place, and I think that's kind of what happened right there.
Well, when we talk about the youth of this football team, this is what we talked about. You have kids like Dante Corey, who's an outstandingly talented kid, but he's a sophomore. Yeah. So these are things you're going to learn. These are bigger, stronger kids. So, all right, let's see if the Panther defense can keep it up, because that's a pretty big momentum shift. This is a nice – again, I know you all are probably thinking like I'm just – calling out his name because he's the only guy. Nate Stoll, every time, is just holding up his man, and then Banbury did a really nice job coming in and cleaning it up.
Yeah, and Gillespie was in there too, really setting the middle of the defense right there as well. So they're doing a really, really nice job up front right now, which is extremely important in this game.
Yeah, the nose never gets any love. They do all the dirty work, but Brock's doing a great job. All right, Davis is back. He stepped up again. Now they're throwing the slant across the middle, and that is Logan Johnson, 88. We talked about that. He faked towards the line, stepped back, threw it. He was open, and that's a big threat in the passing game. That is the first down of the game for the Indians.
Yeah, we actually got caught in a blitz right there. Blitzed right out of that hook zone that left that open. So good play call by North Hills. Good timing to run that route.
So first down here, 37-yard line of the Indians. And now they got a sidecar with Green again. Well, that was not a good snap, not great time. And Green did a nice job just getting upfield, getting something. But, boy, Banbury just popped him there for only about a gain of 2.
Yeah, Banbury, for being a freshman, he doesn't hit like a freshman. He hits like a much more mature player and very physical, very solid player. Nice play overall there by the Panthers D.
Yeah, the only thing you need to know about the Banbury family is not one of them are afraid of anything.
Yes, they are tough. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I've coached 3, and I was disappointed that I didn't get to coach 4. That's that's what I'll say about them. Kids like that who will do anything for you and are tough. You can't have enough of them. And John's a great kid. All right, so 2nd and 8 here for the Indians. Now they got a little bit of heavier set. They're going to give it to the bigger guy. He's not touching it. Marco Carone does a great job there, reaching out and getting nothing there. That's the first time we've seen Jack Martin, the sort of bigger fullback-ish guy, carry it, but not much. Marco did a great job.
Yeah, that was a great job by Marco. Controlled his gap there and made a heck of a play.
Yeah, the Panthers are really winning on first down these series, and they're not having 3rd and 2 like you saw Norwin have last week. It's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. This is about 3rd and, let's say, 5.
They're back in the empty formation here. Coach is trying to come up with what they think is going to be open here.
And it's interesting. Last time they did this, the Panthers really only rushed 4, the 3 down linemen, and they sent 1 guy, but the Panthers got home. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. It's only going to be 3. It's Stoll again. Oh, man. So Stoll, unbelievably enough, got through there and decked the quarterback, but that was a pretty good throw. It may have gotten on the receiver a little quicker than he thought it would.
Yeah, I don't think that he was ready for that from a timing route perspective, thinking maybe he was going to get to the flat a little bit longer. But, hey, good play. Good pressure. Pressure causes issues, and that's what we just saw right there.
Yeah, so the Panther defense, there is nothing to complain about the Panther defense. Really not the offense either. They've possessed the ball. They've moved it consistently. You know, the fumble was disappointing, but really a great first quarter so far. We got 39 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Panthers are doing a great job. That's going to be a timeout from the Indians. I don't know what they saw. Did they have a –
I think they had a formation issue or maybe personnel issue.
Okay.
They only had 10 on the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine unless there was something like a man short that you're worried about a punt block that you're going to use a timeout on a punt.
Yeah, you wouldn't. That's not an ideal place to be using a timeout.
I have to think in week 1 here, the second game of the season, you're still going to see some of these mistakes. You're not quite in midseason form, and you have a lot of sophomores on both teams here that play a lot of get a lot of snaps.
For sure. And you know, the other thing too, especially with special teams, is anytime you have a guy who maybe gets his bell rung or needs to come out of the game for some reason, sometimes it can cause a little bit of confusion.
All right, so now, Brad, let's talk about when the Panthers, assuming they get the ball back here with no issue. Do you think it's business as usual for the offense? I mean, if they haven't really stopped what we're doing, is there any real reason to make any adjustments at this point?
I mean, at this point in time, you know, the power running game and the short routes are really working extremely well, so no reason not to continue with that, especially with our defense playing the way that it is right now too, which is extremely good. So possession to scores is really all that Upper St. Clair needs right now.
All right, pretty good snap. Definitely his best punt of the day. Not an amazing punt, but looks like, no, that was Bryce Jones.
That
no,
was
that's
Gianni.
Nico D'Orazio. Okay.
Gianni.
Oh, that's Gianni DeSora. I apologize, G. You'd think a guy I coached all last year, I would be able to figure out who it is, but he's a diminutive guy, sort of a standout. So, you know, Brad, about if you were nitpicking here, the one thing I haven't seen from the defense yet, they have not forced a turnover. Those are big splash plays in a high school football game. What is your philosophy in terms of, do you think that's something you can practice? Like, what is your philosophy on translating forcing turnovers?
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of teams that'll spend a lot of time practicing ripping out the football and things along those lines. Obviously, that's extremely important. The only thing I'd say is I think we've only had 9 plays on defense because I believe we're at 3 and outs, correct?
No, they got one first down.
That
pass to Johnson.
That's right. So, but you know, not that much time being spent on defense so far. So, I mean, that part of it is good. I do agree with you, though. Like, especially if you see North Hills driving, that's when we really need those splash plays to cause a change here.
Yeah, Alex and I talked about that a lot last week. He felt like, oh, we have a sophomore quarterback. We'll turn him over week 0. Nothing yet, but, you know, the Panthers are doing their job. They're not allowing many yards tonight. Chambers fakes. Is he going to throw? It's Jules, but he's just going to run because he got a lot of room. And he's going to get about 10 or 11 yards. So probably a good decision there from Jules. You talked about it in terms of guys being deep. What was the flag? Sideline warning?
It might have been a late block. We're going to find out right now. There was a North Hills defender who got blocked halfway onto our bench. It kind of reminded me of the scene from The Blind Side when he blocks him all the way off the field. We'll see what they call this here, though. But yeah, to the point of Julian, great decision there. You know, he kind of kept it alive and kept people off him a little bit in case they wanted to pass the ball. But yeah, and honestly, that's one of those things for film too, just to remind everybody Julian is a quarterback.
Yeah,
he threw for almost 1,000 yards.
So Brad called it. It was a personal foul. The good news is it was a first down. So, you know, it's almost like no harm, no foul in this situation. It's almost like we're backing up.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, so it's not 1st and 25. It's still just 1st and 10 as a result of the play. So it's not quite as bad. Obviously, you never want to lose 15 yards, but, you know, it's not a drive killer or anything like that at this point in time.
My wife's sending me great text pictures of my kids right now. So
there we go.
I'm trying not to be distracted here, but, you know, when you love your kids, I'm trying to keep things in perspective here. Looks like bath time.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. They'll be asleep soon enough. We're not deadbeat parents or anything. All right, so we're now. Yeah, okay, it's 1st and 10. I was going to say the scoreboard at 1st and 25. We already explained why that is not the case. So this is going to be 1st and 10 here. Fakes to Chambers. He's rolling left. He has a man. It is Michael Albert. Nice jumping catch. And Michael Albert is a load. He is not going to be easy to bring down, and he was not. Gets about 17 yards. Panther first down.
Great ball, great catch. You know, Michael, big boy, does a lot of blocking, and he got his chance there, and he made the most of it. Made a really nice catch, broke a tackle, got all the yards back that we lost on that last play.
Yeah, Michael's an underrated athlete, too, for his size. He looks just like an absolute moose, but he's an athletic kid. That was a really nice play. So, 1st and 10, 45-yard line for the Panthers. This might be the last play of the quarter. Chambers, can he turn the corner? He cannot. He probably gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all. And that is going to be the end of the first quarter. The time of possession and the yards are extremely one-sided in favor of the Panthers. They are only up 7-0 on the scoreboard, but really got to think we're pretty much all positives at this point, Brad, right?
Oh, yeah. At this point in time, you know, everything that I think the coaching staff wanted to do, controlling the line of scrimmage, really getting nice drives going offensively, all those things have happened. You know, just one little turnover away from being up 2 scores at this point in time. But a lot of positive right now for the Panthers.
So we got some scores here. Woodland Hills is up 6-0 on Gateway, which is a pretty big rivalry game, and that's one I sort of have been following. And then McKeesport is up 3-0 on Penn Trafford. Those are teams we may see at some point. So South Fayette is tied with West Allegheny 7-7. Again, like to keep you abreast on some of the teams we will see this season. And you know, Brad, I know we are not in the classic rivalry conference with everybody, but there are so many great rivalry games in this league. Try to let our audience sort of get a feel for what those rivalry games are like. The Bethel Park game, we do play Mount Lebanon out of section. Now South Fayette and Peters are big rivals.
Yeah.
Sort of give us a sense there.
I mean, especially when you play these teams later in the season when there's real significant playoff implications, there's nothing like it. You know, I remember playing Mount Lebanon last week of the season with playoffs on the line, and you know, those types of environments they're really special. And these kids they're a little bit more tied in with each other. A lot of them that play other sports, they might, you know, interact with them and play on the same team as them, you know, whether it be basketball or baseball or something like that. But no matter what, there still is a community pride factor here, and these kids care. They care quite a bit.
The kids do know each other way more than we did, particularly, and I do think it's because AAU and travel baseball and everything like that. I will also say, in a way, that honestly makes some of the kids want it more, because I'm not going to lose. You know, it's funny, I got a text from one of my seniors last year, Christian Wazinski, who's at Pitt, and he was like, Gav, you'd love to know that I was playing against Lucas Garofoli in pickup, and we smacked him. And I was like, I laughed. I said, you know, they're buddies. They played AAU together. But when it's St. Clair Levo, I don't care if you're playing pickup ball in college. It matters a little bit more. And I just loved to hear it. It just did my heart good.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, quite honestly, that's part of what makes this so special, right? Because it's nice whenever you get to play against some of the other teams and get a little change of scenery. But playing against Bethel, playing against Lebo, those things are always going to be important. I think some of the newer ones with South Fayette and Peters Township, you know, in the past decade or so, they've become bigger. And it's really good for these guys. So even though Lebo isn't in the conference, still getting to play them in a non-conference game does keep connection to almost all of the traditional rivals for Upper St. Clair, and those are fun. And to your point, Gateway and Woodland Hills, yeah, that's a big game for them, whether it's conference or it's not conference.
Yeah, even when Peters and Bethel decided to drop down to 5A for hoops, we made sure we scheduled them by popular demand.
Yep.
I think a lot of the kids would revolt if they didn't get to play Lebo in football.
Yeah, that would be a travesty.
All right, 2nd and 10 here for the Panthers at their own 45 to start the second quarter. Bryce Jones in motion. They pitch it to him. He looks like he doesn't have a whole lot of room. He gets pulled down. That's that big dude again. Man, Jamar Allen, the 330-pounder, just sort of grabbed a hold of his jersey and whipped him down. Give me about a gain of 2.
Yeah, big boy. That was an unbalanced set there for Upper St. Clair. Had more guys on the line than maybe people realized, so it kind of created an interesting situation, but big play by the D tackle there.
This will be an interesting this is the first really 3rd and long the Panthers have had, 3rd and 8. Fakes it up the middle. Hellman's running out of time. Now he's going to the outside. Can he get it downfield? He makes one guy miss. He's got the big guy. He throws across field. That's beautiful. Bywalski is open. He cuts to the sideline. Gets about 15, 17 yards. Charlie Bywalski, number 8. But Ethan Hellman, great poise. I thought there were a couple times he was dead to rights, and he extended the play and hit a man downfield.
I mean, honestly, that's what with quarterbacking, it's great to be able to run upfield and to be able to do all those things. But if you can just keep the play alive, keep your eyes downfield, he did a heck of a job there, and he also picked a great target given the scenario with 3rd and long.
We talked about that last week, how Jules wants to run in those situations. Ethan's just kind of buying time to keep his eyes down. Here's Mace. He's going to go. This could be a house call, ladies and gentlemen, and it is. Mason Chambers off tackle, goes 38 yards. The Panthers lead 13-0 with the extra point pending.
That was a heck of a play. I mean, that hole was very large, and Mason took it, and he sprinted right through there and did a heck of a job. That was a fantastic play overall for the Panthers.
Yeah, real credit to the Panther offensive line. They are doing a fabulous job in the run blocking. You got Marco Carone, Nate Stoll, Mason Geyer, Brock Gillespie, Bobby Fleckenstein, really setting the tone for this football game. And the Panthers, Brendan Henderson on here, the senior, to add the extra point. Oh, boy, that sort of, I don't know whether the hold wasn't quite done. Whenever Bennett doesn't hit it dead center, I get concerned, but no problem, through, and the Panthers lead 14-0.
It's amazing, though. You think about how small the margin is for error there, because if Ethan doesn't make that Houdini play to escape that pressure, that's probably a punting situation.
Absolutely.
You know, but instead, he makes that fantastic play. We keep going. We score a touchdown the next play. Great job by the Panthers offense again, though.
Did you ever play quarterback at any level?
I did not. I didn't play until late, so I didn't start until 8th grade, and then they just kind of – and I remember I actually had Tunch Ilkin for a coach, and they said at that point in time, we probably should put you a quarterback. I was a baseball player for the listeners who aren't aware of that part of this. And said we should probably put you a quarterback, but it'll be easier to catch on at other positions. So just kind of caught on as a tailback once I got to high school.
No, it just seems really hard. Plus, for the listeners who don't know, his son Nolan is a quarterback, a very good quarterback. He's a freshman. He'd probably be the JV quarterback, although I have not seen the JVs yet because we've only played home varsity
with
games.
Our JVB is where he's playing now.
Yeah. So when the varsity plays at home, the JV plays on the road and vice versa, and then the other JV games, it's hard to catch them, but I will be able to catch all of these games at some point. And I was assured by our middle school football coaches that Nolan is quite the quarterback, so I'm looking forward to seeing. He's a lefty too.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, one of the things that's really cool that I was thinking about in preparation for tonight's game is the numbers are rising so much right now in terms of football in Upper St. Clair, and you give a lot of credit. Like Phil Elias was one of the really big people with getting flag football started in Upper St. Clair, and actually Ethan's group. I coached Ethan in flag football when he was in kindergarten, and that was the first year we had this league. So we have a lot of renewed interest now, and we have. I think it's around 40 freshmen that are playing. We have around 50 7th graders that are playing. So our numbers have risen quite a bit, and it's really cool to see that because a few years back we were looking at these varsity teams that only had around 60 or so guys. So
yeah, I mean, I think that there was a lot of issues for that, a lot of reasons for that, some of the concussion stuff, but I do think there just seems to be an understanding at St. Clair now that, you know, really trying to foster cooperation among all of the coaches to try to get them to play as many sports as you can.
Yep.
It's a survival tactic, but also I just think it's beneficial. Kids, if they are capable, should play as many sports as they can because it's fun. It's a great experience.
It is. It is. Uh-oh.
Jacobo looked like he went high on that one. So it's okay if you walk in the end zone, but not unless the ball crosses the plane. I guess it's not a
Correct.
touchback. Okay.
So if you tread backward after catching it, it's live. Yeah. To your point, Gavin, though, it is really interesting to see a lot of these guys who are multi-sports, and you know a lot of these guys who are out here, they are multi-sport, and I think that helps them because they learn to compete in a lot of different ways and become more athletic, and it helps on Friday nights, but it also helps on Tuesdays and Friday nights for basketball season and lots of other times, as well as in baseball.
I mean, look at the guys who made the tackle, for example. Number 1, Brett Minert.
Mm-hmm.
He's a basketball player. Number 22, Beck Shields. He's a lacrosse player. This is, you know, I believe it's the way it should be. I mean, I was as mediocre as you could be at sports, but I played them all.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go play with my club soccer team on the weekends if they asked because, oh, heck yeah, sports, heck yeah, let's go play.
Yep.
All right, so the Indians are back, trying to gain any sort of positive momentum on the offensive side of the ball. Davis is back. This is going to be a bubble screen. Oh, he's going to get to the outside here.
Good
Oh,
tackle.
is that a great tackle there?
Nico.
That looked like that was going to be a big play. And Nico Durazio, the sophomore safety, did an outstanding job limiting him in about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, that was a great play by Nico. He read and fought through that zone very, very quickly.
Boy, that was a great read and an even better tackle because that's a big kid who had the football there. All right, so 2nd and 6 here for the Indians. That looked like that could have been a big gainer, but sure tackling is one way to limit these squads. Julius Green, number 4, the tailback, I feel like has been a little limited. That's a guy we've got to watch. He could break any time. They fake it to him. This is going to be a little screen, a tight end screen. And that's big Logan Johnson. Good job getting him to the ground, though. I'll tell you what, once again, Cam Phillips came up and really did a nice job along with Bywalski.
Yeah, and Banbury stood him up there a little bit, and he did a good job keeping it from going forward, and then Phillips drove him back.
Yeah, I apologize. That was 6, not 8. That's Johnny Banbury, the middle linebacker.
Anytime those jerseys start folding a little bit, I'm with you. I can't tell 6, 8, and 0 apart very easily.
Yeah, Johnny was banged up last week. I saw him in the training room this week. He's like, I'm dead fine. I'm playing. I said, okay, I got you, buddy. Don't worry. 3rd and 2. This is a little more manageable for North Hills. Let's see what they got here. This is going to be a quick screen again, another bubble screen. Oh boy. They got it, but pretty well done. Gianni DeSora almost got in there, got him to the ground. Julian Dallin did a really nice job then getting over and laying the wood there, along with, again, Cam Phillips. But that is a first down. But, Brad, I have to imagine if you're going to give up a first down, they had to work real hard for that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, 3-yard gain on a quick pass play. Good execution by North Hills. Good tackling by Upper St. Clair.
All right, they're faking again. They're going to go down the field here. They got a man in the slot. Oh, there's Jules. He steps in front of him, and he's got space here. Jules getting to the outside. This is good blocking, whoever that is. That was a great block by Charlie Bywalski, and Dallin gets all the way down to the 15-yard line. Well, Brad, we already talked about it. You've got to force turnovers in high school because they're splash plays. Great read, and Julian Dallin, he's such a playmaker.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play by Julian, and honestly, it looked like there was a little bit of space there on that play, and Julian just closed off that gap immediately and made a heck of a play right there. That was very well done, and now it's first down to the 13. So this is a major turn of events here.
Yeah, a lot of things to talk about there. 24, Josiah Mathis did look like he was open in the seam. That's just a great read from Dallin, reading the quarterback. The other thing was to have the presence of mind to get out and block like they did there was really impressive, and because of that, Jules probably got about 25 or 30 more yards.
For sure. Very well done.
All right, so Panthers in business here at the 13 of North Hills. Big play. This is Mason Chambers again, following his blockers beautifully. Look at Marco and Mason Geyer down the field there. They got their guys 7 yards down the field. There was probably 6 yards before any contact was made.
Correct. And anytime you get more than 5 yards on first down, that's a great play. So,
is there anything you're seeing strategically here in terms of the line, or are they just really getting off the ball and pushing him back?
You know, I'll be honest, I don't see quite as detailed of the line play as a lot of guys do. I'm looking a little bit more broadly. But, we're definitely getting a push, and we're getting all the forward momentum.
Yeah, when I have Harkle here, he's just analyzing the heck out of the line play.
Yep.
I love getting different perspectives. It's crazy. All right, so Carter Stein shifts. Here comes Chambers. He gets through the gap and does a nice job. He almost scored there, tripped up, but he gets inside the 3, down to about the 2 for first down.
Yeah, great play, great run, and again, the field tightens up now, right? This is the only time that we really did get stopped was in this type of a scenario here. We're going quick, though. We must like our personnel matchups here.
Here comes Chambers again. He's going to walk in. Very nice. Boy, Brad, maybe we'll wait here if you want to describe what that was first, but this has to be a little demoralizing for North Hills, the ease of the way they're starting to push them back on the run game.
For sure, and they were in a predicament there because they couldn't make any defensive substitutions because our offense was going so quick. We knew we had them. We knew personnel-wise we were in a good position, and just kept running down their throat there. That was a very nice job by the line, very nice job by Mason Chambers, who's having a heck of a game so far.
Yeah, Alex Park, I hope, is watching because he's going to be really happy that they're riding the big back and banging it at him. He was begging for that last week. I'll bet Coach Terry Coleman is enjoying this line play right now. Oh yeah, he gave me the thumbs up. We got some of the legends of the St. Clair coaching fraternity up in the booth here tonight, and I love to see it. It is the fraternity of Upper St. Clair football, and this is a little more like it this week. This has been a really great start to this football game.
I feel like we need to start calling these plays Ohio something, Coach Render. This looks like Ohio power and Ohio off tackle right now. There's a lot of there's a lot of down your throat here. This does remind me of back in the day when it's just power down their throat.
Yeah, he's getting his Woody Hayes philosophies in here, coaches. If you if you're running it well, why do anything else? Too many bad things can happen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nah.
So.
Yep, and it's interesting. It's interesting watching this because Upper St. Clair. We talked about the physicality at the beginning of the game, and Upper St. Clair is very much imposing the will here on both sides of the ball. There's a lot of physicality coming from the Panthers here, which is huge, and that's why the score is 21-0.
Yeah, to say the least. Ooh, boy, Woodland Hills is putting it on Gateway up 22-0.
It's interesting because Gateway was the preseason #1 ranked team for 5A, and then last week Mount Lebanon put it to them a little bit. And I know that the score got a little bit out of hand and it was a little bit closer game from what I had heard, but nonetheless, starting off 0-2 would not be an ideal situation.
No, and McKeesport's up 17-0 on Penn Trafford. I think Penn Trafford might be a little down this year. They've had really good football teams, but
yeah, the one thing I will say though that's really interesting is when you look at WPIAL football, it really is about how you end. You need to get yourself into the playoffs, and I think the Panthers even saw that last year, going into the WPIAL title game after having a few weeks in a row where it looked like maybe this was becoming a little bit of a down year, and, made it into the WPIAL championship. I think at the end of the third quarter it was a one-score game before it got a little bit out of hand, but it's how you end. Yeah,
people were asking me, to try to extrapolate stuff after 1 week of St. Clair. I said, I have no idea, guys. Can we wait a little bit? It's a young football team. Oh, this is bobbled a little bit. Jacobo went low with it, but look out. Nice tackle there. That's Carter Stein, and that's a big hit.
Great stick by Carter. And, hey, that's what you want to see because, one of the things that can happen, too, with these teams that are used to kickoffs going in the end zone is that they get a little bit relaxed because they think, okay, I'm just going to run down the field and it's just going to be a touchback anyhow. So it's great to see very, very high-quality coverage when it doesn't.
Yeah, so Carter Stein, I mentioned he was a legacy. It's interesting. His dad, John, was a football player. He was a year older than me, class of 95. His uncle, Timmy, was also a good football player, was my year, 96. He ended up playing at Pitt.
Yep, he was a punt returner for Pitt.
Absolutely he was. I saw him play when I was at Wake. They came down and played North Carolina, and then Josh, the younger, played 2001.
2002, he was my
Oh, he was your year.
We were actually right next door neighbors.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
The Stein family's wonderful. That's Johnny B going up and hitting a real nice stick, about a gain of 2. But the Stein family was great. Mr. Stein was one of my baseball coaches. He was a really tough guy, great guy.
All right, that was a solid first down gain for North Hills there. They need to get a little bit of positive momentum here.
Bethel and Lebo are scoreless after 1. I know that's a game we all care about. If they could both lose, I'd be thrilled. Nice play, boy. Shooting the gap there, and big surprise, 58, Nate Stoll in the backfield once again for a 4-yard loss.
That is a dominant play, and especially when it's 2nd and 5 to then return with a negative play to make it 3rd and long. I mean, that's a dream for a defense here.
Boy, is he having a whale of a football game. But, it's becoming repetitive. He's doing this every week in, week out. I'm not a football guy, but he has to pop on film.
For sure.
I was talking him up to the Pitt coaches, and there's a reason why. He just stands out so much that an amateur like me can see him dominating.
Great motor, too, which is important as well. Great motor, great attitude, great work ethic, all those things.
Yeah, one of the best kids. I enjoy coaching him tremendously. Dallum almost in. Can they get him out of bounds in time? I believe they did. Albert got him out.
Ooh, that was a favorable spot. I thought he was
Oh, wow. I thought he was out about the 30. That's going to be close to a first down. And
yeah. They're not even –
oh, you're down 21-0. I think
I was
you
going to say
they're
not measuring that because they just threw the football in. Yeah, we defense didn't wrap up there quite as well on that play and resulted the play as a first down instead of a punting situation.
Yeah, they probably should have done a little better there. I think they had enough numbers there that you'd hope they got him to the ground. So North Hills gets a second life here, and they will be 1st and 10 from their own 31. That's a tremendous hold. And guess who got held?
That's on Nate Stoll. Man, he is disruptive.
What's interesting about it is Cam Phillips was blitzing up the middle, and he got held too. I don't think that was what was called, but you could have called either of 2.
See, and those are the types of plays that are really, really significant because now they're looking at 1st and 20 for a team that's not really moving the ball with large chunks, right? So you can't get 4, 4, and 4 to get a first down right now. Now you're going to need a big play or two in this. And this is really the type of time where, we're talking about the splash plays and the interceptions. This is the time where those types of things come about, is because you're trying to get those big chunks, and it does put your offense in a little bit of a predicament.
It's got to be a little bit difficult or a little bit tricky when you go down by 2-3 scores early to kind of want to change your game plan and get it back quickly. But this doesn't seem like an offense that's really tailored for that.
No, I agree with you. The way that this game has played out so far, at the very least, is that it really is, just small chunks of yards at a time.
All right, so 1st and 20, as Brad correctly pointed out. This is Green, the tailback. Dallum. Oh, he got his leg, too. That's just beautiful from Julian Dallum. And everybody's really rushing to the ball. Banbury stole. And you just love to see the numbers swarming to the ball right now for the Panthers.
Yeah, that's a great play by Julian right there. Keep him in the backfield, open field, one-on-one tackle. Those types of plays are really, really significant, especially when it goes for a loss of yards.
Yeah, when you have a guy like Julius Green, Brad talked about him in the intro, and he's a dangerous guy. He can take it a long way, not letting him get going, and they've done a great job at that so far.
For sure, and he really hasn't even had a chance to get downhill on any plays that I can think of. So keeping him just moving side to side is ideal.
All right, so here's a fake, another little bubble screen look. Oh,
Gianni.
Great hit from Gianni DeSora. Before they could get the blocker in from the interior receiver, he just sort of jumped it, got over it, and very short gain for the Indians.
Yeah, when it's 2nd and 21, you'll give up a 3 to 4 yard quick hit right there. So great play by Gianni. That was a great tackle. Very, very well done.
Yeah, Gianni's listed at 5'10", 165. There is absolutely no chance in heck he is 5'10", 165, but he is a tough kid. He will give you everything he has.
I love the roster heights and weights.
Yeah, I do too. Exaggerating heights and weights in every sport is the time-honored tradition that gives me endless entertainment. All right, so 3rd and 18, which is what you love to see as a defensive coordinator. Let's see if the Panthers stay aggressive, or let's see if they sort of drop back and let their front three do the work. And that's going to be too much time.
There we go. Delay a game.
That's probably frustrating if you're the North Hill sideline. You're already in a bad situation, and you're down 21, Brad, but is there a chance we see a screen or a draw or something like that, given kind of the way this game's going in the field position?
It wouldn't be a bad move because there is risk right now. See if St. Clair can get lined up. There was some substitutions here. We have Ethan Hellman actually coming in. They're in more of a prevent defense right now.
Yeah, Dante Corey's in at fullback too, or linebacker too. All right, he's rolling out. He's being chased. It's down the field. Nice coverage. Who was that?
That was
Gianni DeSora again, really nice. It wouldn't have been a first down anyway, but it would have been a pretty big change in field positions. That's a really nice play from Gianni.
For sure, and honestly, if he catches it there, then there's actually a chance they're going for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, given the circumstances. But now Panthers are going to get the ball back, and given that the punt game hasn't really been a strength so far for North Hills, it looks like we're going to get it back on our own side of the field as long as this is a clean play.
Yeah, down 3 scores. I don't think you're wrong. I think you probably go for it there. That is a fairly big play. So Evans back a little bit further than he was last time. Now he's creeping up again. I think that's the way to go. This guy hasn't proved he can boom it over your head yet. So, and he's at the exact right spot. He's got some space. 40, 35, 30. Gets down to the North Hills 30. He's done a nice job catching it going forward. He showed great courage, not afraid of muffing it or anything. He's done a really nice job.
Yeah, I love seeing when the return men do that. And sometimes to the return men, to their benefit, like they're actually not, they're told to fair catch it because we might be in a safe where we're not really even trying to do much blocking. But Taylor's done a really good job of taking those, getting that extra 5 or 10 yards. Going up by 4 touchdowns would be really nice here.
Yeah, so we got 4:28 to go in the second quarter. It's a big Panther lead here at 21-0. But I don't think this is the type of scenario where you want to get too conservative. Yeah, would you like to run all the clock off and score? Sure, but I also think the Panthers are looking to continue kind of what they're doing and try to get sort of the kill shot, so to speak.
For sure. And I think especially given what happened last week, it's your foot's on the gas.
Yeah, like I said, I got excited too early last week. Here's Hellman, and they're throwing just like that. And it's going to be a deep slant, and Bywalski, did he get it?
There we go.
What
great
a play. Wow.
That's a great throw. Great throw, great catch. And the coverage really wasn't bad, to be honest with you. I mean, he was on him, and just very well executed play right there.
So we talked about Charlie Bywalski in the open a good bit, and Charlie's a really athletic kid, but he's a gritty kid. And I like kids like that who sort of combine those two things. He's only an 11th grader. It's not like he's played a ton of snaps for the varsity, but I think he's gonna get better and better. That is a really nice play.
Oh yeah, and he had the game-winning catch last week on 4th and down that was very, very clutch. So kudos to those guys, and great to see the Panthers showing up early in this game. This is what I felt like last week was going to be. To your point about thinking last week, whenever the Panthers went up 14-0, it felt like the game was going to be over. I thought the game was going to be 35-0 at halftime last week, and then obviously it took a turn very different. So it's nice to see them go up the way that they are right now.
And I'm sure they heard all the talk this week. I mean, the coaches were frustrated, and what happens? I mean, this is a place where everybody expects to win, and you expect to win big, and the expectations are high. It's one of the things I love about St. Clair. But you don't think the kids heard that all week? No question about it. And they look mad, they look determined, and they look focused. And hat tip to Ethan Hellman too. I don't think he's misthrown a ball tonight. Every ball has been right on the hands.
I mean, Ethan's a special quarterback. He just throws the ball extraordinarily well, competes extraordinarily well, and he's a heck of a player. So yeah, I agree with you. But I do think what we're seeing, getting back to the opener about game 1 or week 1 versus week 0, we're seeing a lot of guys step up, and I mean, it's been really nice to see some great tackles on defense. We're talking about Gianni, we're talking about Nico Durazio, those two making plays, in their first or second game as starters out here, and we're seeing so many really, really positive things. So it's been very good.
Yeah, and we've seen very few big mistakes. There was a fumble at the goal line, but other than that, we're not seeing some of the mistakes like guys wide open and things like that we saw last week. So you're right. Kudos to the coaching staff. They look really prepared tonight. Jacobo's going back long. I wonder if there's a bit of a wind this way because he's only getting it maybe to the goal line this way. Oh, that's a nice play by Zach Salapau. Boy, the guy tried to pop to the outside, and Zach shed his block and did a great job getting him to the ground.
I mean, I said earlier that you're not going to get it any closer than the 20, and we just had a tackle at the 18. So, you're talking about great coverage, even when you have the boots that can put him into the end zone, like we know both Bennett and Jacobo can do. It's great to see the coverage be as solid as it has been. So kudos to the special teams.
Yeah, and we're splitting hairs here. That kick went to the 1. I mean, it's not. It didn't go 9 yards deep in the end zone, so we're wondering what's wrong. All right, so we got 4:14 to go. 28-0 Panthers. It'll be a little bit intriguing to see what the Indians do on this drive because it's sort of back against the wall time here. I wonder if they get clever, tricky, or whatever.
Yeah, this is not an easy position to be in as a coach.
So they try to go up the middle, and that's a pretty successful first down game. That's going to be 4 or 5. Green right up the gut there.
Yeah, he forced his way upfield, and he definitely fell forward on that one, and that was a good start. But last time they did this, Stoll made a big play for a loss, so see how the Panthers respond on this play.
He did. Austin Middleton's in. The junior nose is in for Brock at nose. So there's – boy, they tried to go in for the – oh, that's a great play and a big play. That was Dante Corey who got him to the ground. So just like you talked about, Gianni came in really aggressively to try to bring him to the ground on that wide receiver screen, missed it, and when you do that, sometimes you don't have enough help behind. So ends up being a pretty big gain for North Hills to the 40.
That was a big tackle by Dante. Kudos to him. That was great effort. Got back there, saved what could have been a touchdown.
Another little wide receiver screen. This is Dante in. He can't quite bring him to the ground, but Gianni DeSora up, cleans up, maybe about a gain of 3. Boy, they're doing a lot of bubble screens, it looks like, Brad.
I think they found that's where they're getting their most positive yards, and it's not necessarily a ton of yards, but moving the chains here a little bit on those types of plays. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see more of those as we go.
So Bywalski back in for Corey at the call it the slot corner position. No, that's not really what it is. It's more like a hybrid bandit type. 2nd and 6. This is Green up the gut. Van Helmen did a nice job getting in there, forcing him to the outside, but Green makes a nice run, sort of stiff-arming Bywalski, getting the corner and gaining about 7 or 8 for a first down for the Indians.
Yeah, that was a nice run, and that's where we finally saw Green, a little bit of the burst that he has. That was a very nice cut, very nice play.
So Mason Geyer had been in at the left defensive end spot. Marco Carone, the senior, back in there at that spot. Panthers, have a lot of guys playing both ways on the line. Trying to sub a little bit liberally. This is difficult, particularly with tempo.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, just you can sub guys and it's whatever. Some of these guys are very, very high level, very skilled, and their absence is felt when they're not in there. A guy like Stoll, it's hard to take him off the field, but that can also get extremely tiring. The longer that the game goes.
A shout out to two of my favorite people, the DeBruzos, Coach Joe, his wife Marilyn. They're at home watching the broadcast, and I miss you, my man. One of the best. I'll see him during basketball season. I don't know many people that love basketball more than I do, but that's one of them. Thank you, DeBruzes. I appreciate all your support. All right, so 2:43 left here, and Brad, time may be becoming a factor here a little bit based upon the way North Hills is moving the ball.
Yeah, I think North Hills really does want to get a score here, right? Because, they turn it over. Upper St. Clair gets the ball, turns Mercy roll in the second half immediately if it goes to 35. And they do have a chance, but they do grind a little bit of clock as they're moving down the field here. So there is a chance it's going to run out on them here in this half.
Yeah, so, the Panthers got to keep tackling on the field of play and keep tackling before first downs where the clock doesn't stop. All right, fakes the handoff again. He's going down. He's going deep. He's got a man. He almost had it. Boy, that was number 11 for North Hills, Rayshaw Temple, who laid out. That's another sophomore. It looked like Jules couldn't quite tell. He was late to react in terms of the help. Salapau had okay coverage, but it was tough to tell. Jules is sort of looks like he's communicating with coach on the sideline.
Yeah, so they have a matchup. I believe they're in matchup man there, and the read, I think, was what Jules is referring to there. I think there might have been a misread in terms of whose man that was. So Julian was covering on the inside, and he had more of an inside coverage trying to come over to help, is I think what happened on that one.
He's still talking to Coach Donati over there. I'll be interested to ask him what exactly the conversation is. But no harm. 2nd and 10. This is the big back up the middle. Middleton's got him. Bywalski's got him. Got about 5 or 6. I don't think that hurts you that much at this stage as the clock rolls. But, you want to get a little tough here on 3rd down now.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have a little bit more of a speed formation in right now. Sometimes they'll use a second tight end as a wide receiver. They've got 3 of their speedier wide receivers in right now.
It's interesting. Martin's the only back as opposed to Green right now. This is Martin again. He's going to go up the middle. He's going to go. He drops it. And it looks like the Panthers have it. So it looked like Cam Phillips once again came up and stripped the football. And
I didn't see who recovered it, but that was a great play by the Panthers. And, listen, we talk about this idea of splash plays now. There were no turnovers, and now we've got a few. So and that was a big one right there.
So 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. You're up 28, Brad. I'm a moron who treats these games like they're like video games, and I'm throwing the ball and things here. What is your strategy if you're coaching this football game? Are you very satisfied with the way the number is if you can get a play, or what is your tact here if you're the offensive coordinator?
I think there's 2 things you need to look at. Number 1, it's early in the season, and there's still a whole lot of learning to do. So there's nothing wrong with really trying to run your game the way that you would anyhow. And number 2, I believe in keeping the foot on the gas.
All right, good. Then we're on the same page, baby. Let's go. All right, Hellman's back. We got a couple different receivers in the game. This is Evan Taylor. He breaks a tackle, breaks another one, gets through, gets about 6. Looks like the sophomore Randy Yan is in at the 1 receiver position. And who is this at the bottom of our screen? Oh, Marshall Howell, the senior. And Gianni DeSora in the slot. So, yeah, we are seeing some usual guys. Clock is running, 1:40 to play here, 2nd and 4. Oh, a little bit of a tough snap there. Here comes Taylor, and he gets dragged down. That play just didn't really have the timing there. So,
no, and it appears that Coach Junko is okay with taking this one into the half, and I understand that too. You don't want to do anything that's really risky at this point in time. A pick 6 or a fumble or something along those lines that results in a score would be really bad. Going in at halftime, up 28-0, is a pretty ideal situation to be in here.
And we get the ball. Yeah, I mean, it's so easy for me up in the booth to be really brash when I'm not the one who has to deal with the consequences of a momentum-shifting turnover.
For sure.
All right, minute to go here, 3rd and 4. Looks like North Hills is bringing the blitz. Hellman's rolling left. Nate Stoll just absolutely pancaked the guy, and that's going to be thrown out of bounds. Didn't really have a guy open, so.
No, and that's kind of a throwaway, but, yeah. It's not ideal. This is the first time the Panthers have gone 3 and out. Also, really the first time they've been stopped, period, in this game. But did run the clock down. We're under a minute left. So as long as there's a clean punt, the Panthers should be able to get into halftime up to 28-0.
A bit of a spirited discussion between Ethan Hellman and a couple of the coaches on the sidelines. One of the things I love about Ethan, why I hope he plays hoops this year. He just don't have many guys like him. Jacobo, nice.
That's running into the kicker.
Yeah, Jacobo should have fell and sort of, that's unfortunate.
Just let it roll. Let it roll time.
Bobby Fleckenstein goes up and downs it. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely contact with the leg. He needs to do a little bit of an acting job. You may not get that call in this situation given the circumstances, but
yeah. But you know what though, it's gonna take a lot of yards here for North Hills to get into scoring range. I'm not sure about their place kicker's leg, but they're all the way back on their own 32. So
no, we've had not one special team sort of play other than a punt. We haven't had a kickoff. We haven't had anything like that.
No.
So no idea. But boy, he juggled the snap a little bit. Davis is going to a sideline route, and I think the Panthers are A-okay with that. But Bryce Jones came up and knocked him out of bounds. About a 12-yard gain or so to the Panther 46. 38 seconds to go, and yeah, I will be a little bit interested to see when they start tightening this up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, he steps up again. He's looking down the field. Panthers have it well covered. Oh, nice job getting to the passer there. He got off the block. Van Helman did very nicely, and quarterback ran out of time quickly.
Nice play by Van. Van's a tough kid, very good football player.
He was a little banged up this week too, and another guy who said, "No, I'm fine. No problems." Doesn't surprise me. I guess some of these guys are tough guys.
The Hellmans are tough kids. There's no question about that. They're going to be out there any chance they can.
I never question anybody who wrestles. All right, he's stepping up again. This seems to be he's going down the slot. Oh, I'll tell you what. He did a nice job fitting that into the seam. He fit it between the linebacker and the safety. Johnson couldn't quite bring it in.
Yeah, very, very difficult pass, and he did put it in a catchable place.
Oh,
not an easy
catch.
catch.
Yeah.
Not an easy catch at all.
All right, so 26 seconds to play, 3rd and 10. North Hills trying to creep into Panther territory for the first time tonight. You love to not let the opposing team across the 50 for a half. That would be something.
That definitely would be.
Panthers looking like they're faking a linebacker blitz. Now they're going to send a couple guys. Here comes Dante Corey, but Nate Stoll once again.
I mean, he is a force. It is really amazing watching Nate Stoll play and how impactful he is on the game.
Man, Nate has been special tonight. Oh, we're getting a little love from my man Ethan Dowlam. He's loving the broadcast so far. I love you, E. My man. I appreciate your support. That is the end of the first half. You couldn't have asked for anything more. Panthers up 28-0 at half. We will be back for the second half.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Presenting the band of pride, tradition, and excellence, the award-winning North Hills High School Marching Band, led on the field by drum major Trevor Smith. For over 60 years, the North Hills Band has brought march shows of all kinds. March Show 2023 showcases original marches from the March King himself, John Philip Sousa. The band begins March Show 2023 with its traditional end zone entrance, countermarching down the field to Sousa's 1889 hit, the Washington Post March. Next, the band continues its tradition with a Big Ten style, marching along with its angular routines to Sousa's 1893 works, the Manhattan Beach March and the Liberty Bell March. Watch as the band rings their way across the field. No Sousa March Show would be complete without America's National March. 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. May it wave as the standard forever. Let's hear it for the Stars and Stripes Forever, featuring Paige Rossi on piccolo. The band is under the direction of Mr. Len Lavelle, Lucas Beaver, Anthony Thomas, Mara Rushlander, and Tom Hartwell. Flagline sponsor is Katie Wisniewski. Majorette sponsor is Amanda Butler. Drumline instructor is Evan Yester. Thank you for your kind attention this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back to the field the pride of Upper St. Clair, the Upper St. Clair High School Panther Marching Band. The band is under the field direction of drum major Brian McFerrin. To continue our journey through rock music history, the band will feature two movements from its Graceland Liverpool halftime show. First, with words and music by Artie Glenn, performed in 1965 by Elvis Presley, reaching #3 in the US and #1 in the UK. We open with Crying in the Chapel. Now we're going to travel back to the #1 song of 1956 on all three of the main charts, pop, country, and R&B. Written by Otis Blackwell, recorded by Elvis Presley, and inducted in the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2002. Don't Be Cruel. Now, a special arrangement of our Queen opener. We include one of Freddie Mercury's most popular songs, released in 1979. Here's Don't Stop Me Now. the #1 hit by the British rock band Coldplay. Released in 2008 and is the winner of the Grammy Song of the Year in 2009. In Spanish, the title translates as Long Live Life. Let's bring on Viva la Vida! There you have it. This is the 23-24 edition of the Pride of Upper St. Clair. On behalf of the staff, students, and parents of the Panther Marching Band, we would like to thank you for your ongoing support of the band and all performing arts programs in the schools.
All right, we're back again here as we get ready to sort of start the second half here. Brad Wilson is with me again. Brad, just your general thoughts. It seemed to be a really thorough first half for the Panthers in terms of dominance, both sides of the ball, very few mistakes, and just really kind of just what the doctor ordered after a little bit of a sloppy week 0.
For sure, for sure. Defensively, we tackled extremely well. Gave up a couple plays at the very end of the first half, but then had the forced fumble and then recovery. So defensively, fantastic job pitching a shutout in the first half. Offensively, we moved the ball consistently. Aside from the very end of the half when we kind of went into just running the clock out, every drive was down the field, the distance. So overall, very, very good half, and something that I think the Panthers are going to be happy about. But it's important here. First drive, take care of business, and quite frankly, if they get that touchdown, it turns it into mercy roll for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so here's the question I have, and this has always been something that I thought is a little bit tricky as a coach. If you've played an outstanding half, but the game is still very much in the balance, how do you sort of treat that at halftime? You want to obviously tell your kids that you've been really satisfied with the way they've played, but also, not do anything different, not get conservative, treat it like it's 0-0. How do you do that? How do you tailor the message, particularly in a sport like this that's so physical?
Yeah, I think the one thing that's good for Upper St. Clair is that there is a lot of depth, especially those skilled positions here with a lot of guys fighting for position. So I think a lot of those guys still, they want to show what they've got, right? And I think that's going to help in a way. And I do think, too, the fact that last week there was the lead and then they gave it up a little bit, that's going to help as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Guys are trying to get snaps. Boy, nice catch there. Full speed ahead. This is Evan Taylor. Oh, that's a beautiful cut. He's going to get free. He's going to get almost to the North Hills 40. Really beautiful stuff from Evan Taylor once again. He has no fear in terms of running up full speed and catching those balls.
No, he's doing a great job, and he competes. He's an athlete, and not the biggest guy for sure on that roster sheet. But he plays big, he plays tough, and he's really doing a great job for the Panthers tonight.
I had this discussion with a couple people after last week's game, and the seniors made some really big plays down the stretch, and there just seems to be sort of a sense of confidence or desperation, whatever it is when you're a senior. It's just like it's your last go-round, and you play a little bit more courageously. I feel like that's what we're seeing from Taylor.
Yeah, and you know what? Football you don't get to redo after high school. There is no pickup football, right?
That's a really good point, actually. Chambers through the first wave. Second guys get him down. Gets about a gain of 2.
Yeah, that was the first time that North Hills has actually driven Mason backward. So good job by them. They really had quite a few guys that were involved in gang tackling right there. And that's something Upper St. Clair did very well in the first half, was that gang tackle, and North Hills just delivered on that first play.
Yeah, I'm sure North Hills halftime wasn't a joyful occasion, but let's see what adjustments they make. They look like they got now 4 up instead of 3 at the line, but that's another very easy pitch and catch. A lot of room. Peter Engel, the senior, and a nice little simple out route, gets about, say, 10, 11 yards and a first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how far off these corners are playing. They're really just giving up that quick route very easily.
Do you think it's a semblance of bend, don't break, or you don't think many quarterbacks can make these throws consistently?
I think it's a little bit of each, yeah.
There's Chambers, but nice job from number 30, Joseph Lutz, the middle linebacker. Shot the gap, got a hold of Chambers' leg, and got him for no gain.
Yeah, North Hills is bringing a lot of pressure right now, and that's, I think, going to be a part of their game plan. A little bit of bend but don't break in the secondary, combined with some pressure up the middle, really trying to stop the run game. And they need to stop the run game because that really ate them up in the first half.
Good news is Ethan's really on point on his simple throws, and just like we're seeing, that's Engel again. Makes a nice little move, still in bounds, still going, gets to the 35-yard line, 13-yard gain, first down Panthers.
Great effort by Peter Engel right there, right? And, they're taking what the defense is giving to them, and then when you break a tackle, though, that's when you really can have some big plays, and very, very nice job by Peter Engel.
Yeah, something's got to give. If they're going to shoot guys around the ball, these are easy pitch and catch. And Ethan Hellman, you're going to give him these games. He's going to put up some real video game-like numbers. Fake to Chambers. Hellman rolling. He sees Albert again. Not quite there. It was a decent throw, but that's a pretty tough catch away from your body for a big kid.
Yeah. And, good play call for sure. And there was a little bit of over pursuit and a little bit of a lane there. But I think that's what North Hills really is banking on, right, is this idea of execution's hard. And anytime that you're in a passing offense, there's always a risk of just a slight overthrow or a drop or something like that, and that's what I think North Hills is willing to risk right now.
The good news is they're getting 7-8 yards at least each time, so if you can only connect on one of those or so, and that's a long throw. Ethan's making that look really simple. But Bryce Jones did a nice job, ran a nice simple out route, and ball is right on the numbers or right on the hands every time.
When you have a quarterback that throws the ball that accurately, it is very, very difficult to stop. And that's not something you typically see in high schools, is that degree of accuracy. But very nice job. Good job by Bryce. Good route, and then good pass there overall. Looked like it might have been a fumble, but that was after the whistle, so all good for Upper St. Clair.
I didn't even really know Ethan Hellman other than watching him play travel basketball. I went to the first scrimmage last year, and I was sitting next to Jim Moorhead, and I was like, is he this accurate? And Jim was just like, I can't believe it.
Yep. Yeah, he is really really unique in that manner. Here we go, Mason.
He gashed him again. He's still on his feet. Look at Mason go. What you're starting to see now is when he gets ahead of steam and get downhill, I think guys are getting a little demoralized and not really. I mean, Mason's a load. He's a wrestler, and he's got a really strong lower half. Maybe do I really want to meet him in the hole there?
When he's got size and he's moving, it's hard.
Yeah, he's listed at 5'10", 210, and that may be right.
Yeah, this is how you have to stop Mason, is a play like that, where you get him before he can get that forward momentum. As soon as the forward momentum comes, he's going to move you forward, but they got through there and penetrated pretty quickly, so good play by North Hills.
Yeah, 30 Lutz, the middle linebacker, looks like he's basically shooting the gap almost every play at this point, which, what do you have to lose at this stage? You're getting gashed, and, he's completing easy passes. You might as well try to take some chances.
For sure, especially on the goal line here like the Panthers are right now.
All right, so 2nd and goal from the 4. Pretty much still the same formation for the Panthers. Albert now going to the right side. Cam Phillips also over there. Here's Chambers going that direction. Easy does it. Boy, number 50, Austin Middleton, pulled as the right guard there, and he was even looking for somebody to block. And the line did such a fabulous job that they didn't even see anybody until Mason got to the goal line.
No, it's great seeing the run game like this, and it's awesome that we're able to pass the way that we can, with Ethan. but it's way better whenever you can just put the ball on the ground and just run it down people's throats, and that was very, very well done.
Yeah, big 78, the senior captain Marco Carone did a fabulous job there, and he takes a lot of pride in this being sort of his unit. And they were a little maligned after the performance last week, and they've really responded in a beautiful way tonight. I'm very, very impressed with the O-line.
Yeah. And, like the pregame discussion was very much about, this North Hills team is a pretty solid team, and there was not concerns, but recognition that their front was pretty solid, and it's going to be a challenge. And quite honestly, Upper St. Clair's dominated up front, so great job by the O-line on that drive, just like there has been really consistently throughout the game.
So assuming the rules are the same as usual, this would be the mercy rule. This is 35-0 in the second half. It will be interesting to see also if the Panthers, you worry about injuries, you worry about getting reps and establishing depth. Obviously, we're still in week 1 or week 2, whatever you want to call it. You are still trying to get meaningful depth for your regulars, but at the same time, you do want to prevent injuries. You do want to prevent wear and tear. So it'll be interesting to see how liberally they sub here going forward.
Yeah, and one of the other things, too, that I think is really important is to get other guys some of these experiences, because you never know when something's going to happen. Injuries happen in football. That's a very, very normal thing. So these types of settings can be a great place to get some of these kids opportunities where they can see varsity games. Because one of the things that really changes in all high school sports is the game is faster. I'm sure high school basketball is the same exact way, where it's a different game from JV to varsity. And the same thing is definitely true in football. So getting those kids out there, getting the kinks out, giving them that first exposure and first experience really is important. So I think that's something that we're going to see here, and it is really a good chance for these guys. And every kid wants to be out there on Friday night. It's cool running out of the tunnel. It's even more cool to be out on the field, right? So hopefully there will be a chance for a lot of these guys to get that first crack.
You're dead right, though. I mean, the expression I always hear from the guys the first time they get in a varsity game is how much faster it is.
Yes.
Everything moves so much faster. Your decision-making has to be so much faster. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really analogous. But, yeah, you're right. And you want to see some of these guys get rewarded. You don't want to just be a tackling dummy all week. And so, yeah and, hey, that's can only help your development very much as an individual and as a program. So Bennett's back in. And he boots that one good, and
bounces
gonna be
in,
another
so we're
kickback.
good.
Yeah,
Touchback. There we go. Well done.
So, I'm sure there are coaches around the WPIAL who probably watch our kicker film and just can't believe the embarrassment of riches they have. I mean, Bennett's quite literally the best high school kicker I've ever seen at Upper St. Clair, and we've had some great kickers. I mean, Connor Lee was an academic All-American at Pitt. Bennett's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I played with Connor, and he was a fantastic kicker. Before him was Justin Sajansky.
Another
he was
great
a fantastic kicker. I mean, we've had, and those two both ended up playing Division I.
Yeah, Sajansky kicked at Syracuse.
Yeah, and so we see a lot of really good kickers come through here, and Bennett's definitely one of them. And I think Akobo is going to be in the same boat. Yeah,
it's just it's incredible, but it makes a huge difference. I mean, Bennett last week, the field goal he made was a big deal. It sort of got him back, got the momentum back. That's a bubble screen again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to go to the play that has been most successful for them this evening. Dante Corey did a pretty good job getting his left hand in there and tripping him up.
Yeah, that's been their top play, is that quick screen. Definitely not an easy task on the cornerbacks, especially when you're playing off, because they do have over-the-top responsibility, but coming up and making that one-on-one tackle is very, very difficult.
Yeah, it seems like you either got to go one-on-one tackle or shed a block. That's difficult for a corner. These guys aren't big guys. All right, 2nd and about 5. This is Green. Oh, great job at the point of attack there.
He can't get upfield, right?
Hey, that's Bobby Fleckenstein getting some time on the defensive side of the ball. The junior doing a really nice job on the O-line. Now he's getting some work on the defensive line and doing a fabulous job.
I'm used to looking out and seeing Stoll there, and that was Fleckenstein and Middleton on that play, and very, very well done. Driving it back.
It's the second-string line because Mason Geyer's in there. The starting center is in there on the defensive line. Shout out to Bobby Fleckenstein. His mom, Leslie's a 94 grad here from St. Clair, and they're great. Fleckenstein family, great people. So shout out to the Fleckenstein family. I'm happy for Bobby to see him get some love. Also a lacrosse player, another multi-sporter.
There we go.
So when it rains, it pours for North Hills. They were in a very manageable 3rd and 4, and now they're shaping back to 3rd and 9 because, 3rd and 4, okay, the bubble screen probably gets you there. 3rd and 9, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely changes your play call. There's no doubt about it.
So, 3rd and 9 here. We've got Connor Davis again. He's in the shotgun. Looking for the sideline out. Now he's got some time. He's going down the field. Nice play stripping him. So Logan Johnson, the big tight end, had it in his hands. Brett Minert, number 1, punched it out. Beautiful play by the safety.
Yeah, that was well done. It looked like he had a chance there on that one and didn't. And another punt situation here, which is not ideal for North Hills, but
That's
running
kind of,
clock here, though.
That's kind of a microcosm of North Hills' night, isn't it? Like the quarterback made a really nice play, saw a guy, had him down the seam, gets 2 hands on the football, and it just hasn't been their night.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens in football, though. You know, it's a game of inches, and sometimes it's just these really little details over and over again, right? And that's what I think we're seeing right here. Very shallow punt. This is a risk.
He dropped it and he picked it up, but it was a fair catch. So
actually, when he dropped it, I think it does turn it live.
Oh, it does. Oh, but can he pick it up and run then?
That's a good technicality I'll have to look into. I'm sure somebody will let us know about that. But I think as soon as it hits the ground, it does become live.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea the rule there. But you're right. You called that one. I mean, it was an intense play getting up among 7 people on the run to catch.
Yeah, that's a scary one. And it looks like we are bringing in some subs here. Looks like Braden Wells is coming in at quarterback, I believe, so we will see.
Nice. Braden's a great kid. He's a really good holder. The Bethel Park Blackhawks have scored on a punt return from Ryan Petrus before halftime. They lead Mount Lebanon 7-6.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, here we go. We got, let's see, we have Braden Wells at quarterback. We have Greg Corey at tailback. Got some new guys coming in the game here. And Lima Mana down here in the slot.
There is Greg Corey. Yeah, my man Lee. All right.
I know a lot of these guys from other things, and a lot of great kids here. Braden, I know pretty well from baseball. Really, really good kid. Very good baseball pitcher.
Speaking of great kids in at receiver here, Matty DeRubis. I've had a chance to coach Matt DeRubis, and he's about as fine of a young man as you could ever imagine. I'm glad to see him out there. Hope he gets some love here. Wells is back. This is Corey again running off tackle. Oh, boy. They are really sending guys towards the ball. That was Israel Armstead, the linebacker, and he met him hard in the backfield for loss of 2.
Yeah, that blitz came in very fast. Very good defensive play call.
And it looks like we got a bunch of the other linemen in the game as well, which is good. Reese Perrine, who had an ACL last year, is back in at right tackle. Is that my man Chase Komarzik?
He's at left tackle.
Yeah, left tackle.
Siamak is at right guard. I'm trying to see the numbers
Yeah,
here.
we have to wait till they turn a little here. Braden's going to throw. He rolls to his right. He pump fakes. He's running out of time. He throws, and it is incomplete. Closed down, and that's going to be a 3 and out for the Panthers. I can't tell.
Siamak and Ryan LaRocco, it appears, are the other 2 linemen that we have in there.
Yeah, and Austin Middleton is still in the game. So, yeah, you nailed it, though. I mean, injuries happen, particularly on the line of scrimmage. So,
for sure.
Got to see those guys come in and get some love. We got 5 minutes left in the third quarter. This clock is rolling as the Mercy Rule is on. So, I like how Braden stays in the game the long snap after the quarterback. It's just beautiful.
It is crazy.
And it's blocked.
Jacob fell on it. They were very close on the last one as well, so I'm going to guess that North Hills found something in our punt coverage, because the last time through we were alluding to the fact that it looked like Jacobo got run into. That time they got the whole way through for the block.
Was there anything you conceded? Did it look like the release was slow, or was it?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but nonetheless, North Hills is now in Upper St. Clair territory.
First time.
I don't think we've said that yet, so a little bit of a change here.
So let's set the defense here. We still have Geyer and Fleckenstein at the defensive ends, and big Reese Perrine, the sophomore, is at nose. Other than that, we have a lot of the sort of same guys in here. Peter Engel's getting some time at defense at that bandit linebacker spot, as is Dante Corey. Van's still in the game, Van Hellman. And it's going to be a run up the middle, and that was Geyer did a really nice job getting in there. Fleckenstein cleans up. Oh, excuse me, that's Beck Shields at linebacker, not Hellman. Michael Albert is still in the game.
Carter Stein, and it looks like Nico DeRazio at safety.
Yeah, and Zach Zalapow still in at the cornerback spot. He's gotten a lot a lot of time there tonight. So, yeah, it's good. They're getting a lot of guys quality reps here. Because North Hills still has their starters, and they're still doing what they're doing. They got to obviously work on some stuff. So this is good practice for the Panthers. It's back to Davis. They're looking for that out again. Now he's looking upfield. Oh, they're trying to ad-lib here. He's going to go down the field. He's got a man. It's decent coverage from Corey. He didn't turn in time. That's going to be a big gain for North Hills. Number 24, Josiah Mathis, who is the one. He was sort of open in the slot, but they got ineligible receiver downfield. That's going to come back. That was a broken play, it looked like, and some of the linemen were pretty far down the field, I think.
That's a painful one whenever you finally feel like you've broken it, and then you have something like that. But to your point, yeah, the linemen feel like the play's just downfield, and then they're moving down.
Pretty nice throw. I have to admit, for an offense that's been wholly unsuccessful so far, I haven't been unimpressed with Connor Davis. I think he's made some good throws. I think he's made largely good decisions. For whatever reason, he hasn't been able to connect with some of the guys. That was a good throw. He put it where really only his receiver was going to catch it.
Yeah, and anytime you have those long plays, it's very difficult because the receiver breaks downfield, and then you have a linebacker in coverage maybe in a different place than they're expecting to be, and it can cause some of that confusion there.
Yeah, Dante's,
I think happened on that play. Yeah, and see, what they have here is interesting formation. Both the setbacks and the stacked formations are big guys. Yep, and they're bringing them out there to block.
Zach Salapow, very nice. That's probably Beck Shields cleaning up.
Salapow did a really nice job because 14 for North Hills, Aaron Loritz, he's a big boy, 6'3", 215. He's out there to block, and Salapow got in there, Jordan did, before that block could get there. So very, very well done. He kind of beat the pass.
So Logan Lipinski, number 29, is coming in and getting some time at the cornerback position. Another former Panther travel hooper.
Let's see. We got 3rd and long here. We'll see what.
Yeah, 3rd and 11, and I don't know what the clock is stopped for.
It appears there may be an injury over here on the Panthers sideline that they're trying to address.
Hopefully it's just a cramp or something, but I don't see anything. Oh, it's Zach Salapow, excuse me. Yeah, it looks like a cramp.
Cramp or an ankle, one or the other.
I hope it's not an ankle. They were reacting in sort of that stretch movement like you do for a cramp. But anybody who's ever had a bad cramp knows it just really hurts.
It is not fun at all. Yeah, and I was actually worried about that because last week the Panthers had quite a few guys who were cramping up. Whenever I left work today, I was thinking it was pretty hot outside, but it has definitely cooled off. So a little bit less of a risk for that tonight than it was last week.
It has. I also don't think the tempo of this game has been as fast.
Correct.
It was really a fast-paced game. Both teams were really playing up-tempo, very little time between huddles. All right, Davis is back again. Pocket breaks down. Albert's chasing him. He's rolling left. He's going to run, it looks like. And he's going to slide down. Kind of an awkward slide. I'm not sure Engel knew exactly what to do there, but he cleaned up okay.
And they the Panthers did a really nice job because what he was trying to get is his receiver to go downfield on the breakdown, but the Panthers still covered it while covering him on the scramble. So we have a 4th down now for North Hills and a chance to get the ball back for Upper St. Clair.
So what do you think? I mean, obviously they're going to go for it. I mean, this is the first time they've been in Panther territory and nothing to lose here. But I wonder if they're going to try to come up with something a little unique here because their passing game has been so unsuccessful. Here comes Albert. He's blitzing. He forces him out. He's still chasing him. It's no nice job. Who came in there and broke that up?
Nico D'Orazio, I believe. There we go. Very, very nice play by Nico there.
Boy, great instincts. Nico, he was a really good travel hooper. I've heard he's a really good baseball player. That was great instincts in terms of getting there and breaking it up.
And now I'm wondering if there was a personal foul or something along those lines on that play, judging by.
Yeah, North Hills isn't off the field, so.
Yeah. So it's a roughing the passer penalty. That's one of the things that's really interesting in football now versus, again, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you could hit the quarterback 5 seconds late. There's a very, very small window now, so I think those penalties happen a little bit more often because guys are not quite sure if they should be breaking down and avoiding the contact, and that time Panthers got caught.
I don't think that was that late. I think sometimes when you hit them hard, it just looks bad nowadays. They're really protective of quarterbacks.
And Michael is not a small boy.
No,
so
he is not.
When he hits somebody, they're gonna fall pretty hard.
Yeah, you see him in the weight room, and he looks like he's 25 years old.
It's amazing.
All right, minute 25 to go here. Another first down for the Indians on the personal foul. This is the back. He's running up sort of off tackle left. That's Dason Towler. And it looks like that was Lima Manna, I believe, bringing him down there for a gain of about 4. Yeah, and Big Reese getting a shout out. It's always good to see guys who suffer really bad injuries come back. He's also the product of 2 St. Clair parents.
There we go.
Reed Parain, class of 95, and Liz Sorvis, who graduated with me in 96.
There we go.
All right, high snap. Davis, he tries to fake it. Now he got popped there. It's deep, and that's going to be a touchdown. Great throw. I'll tell you what, he got absolutely popped. Aaron Loritz drags it in. He was open pretty good bit. And give Davis credit because, I mean, Mason Geyer just popped him when he released it. He hung in, made a great throw, and North Hills is on the board.
He did. And, that's what for North Hills, they need some bright spots out of this game. You don't want to leave this game feeling like, it was just all negative. And very nice play there. Nice catch by Loritz. Big target. Nice to have those big targets out there.
So I neither you or me are probably a moral victory type guy. Do you think, though, in a game like this, is there something you can take from North Hills sort of putting a couple plays together here, getting a little bit of a bright spot in terms of going into next week not totally demoralized?
Well, I think for North Hills, the way I look at it is last week they were up 10-6 in the second quarter against Bethel Park, and then they give up 27 consecutive points, and they get beat 33-10. So for them, they want to see their second half be a whole lot better, because obviously it wasn't very successful last week. So anything like that is positive. That being said, I think they're aware they're not in against the first unit quite the same way, and when you're in a mercy rule situation, not ideal. But I think for the players at the very least, they want to feel like there's something positive too. And nobody likes being shut out.
No, absolutely not. And I've said it a couple times here. I do think there's some things to be happy about if you're North Hills. I do think Connor Davis throws a nice ball. I think I've seen some pretty positive things from him. It's not like it's been an abject disaster in terms of what you see out there from a personnel standpoint. The Panthers have just sort of had a really good night. North Hills has not.
Yeah, and it's one of those interesting things in sports, and it's true for any sport, football, just like basketball or even baseball. Execution is really what it comes down to, right? Like, how well do you execute on the game plan? So you might be really close, but you've got something just a little bit off, whether it be fundamentally or in terms of preparation or whatever else it might be, and that can happen, And I think right now it's just been a little bit of execution on their end in terms of they haven't been able to do some of the things that they would like to do for sure.
Sometimes it's nice too. I think to have like kind of a real go-to veteran difference maker type guy. Like Norwin last week, it was very obvious when things sort of got tough. They were looking for Jackson Pons every single time. You had a Division I guy who was kind of a difference maker, sort of like they did with Besselman last year or Jamal Brown. And it doesn't seem like this North Hills team has a guy like that.
I agree with you. And I'll flip that a little bit to the Panthers side of things. Like, one of the things that's been interesting is, David Pantelis was here for a few years as kind of like this big-time receiver, and, you could flip a game real fast. And Ethan Dahlem was a heck of a quarterback at that point in time, finding those guys open. And then you go to Mateo Sapolio can burn, and he can be deep and catch these deep balls all the time. And then we had Aiden Besselman in with that group too. It's great to see just this broad supporting group where maybe there's not one specific guy, but a ton of guys who are making really, really nice plays for the Panthers.
Speaking of a guy who's a real playmaker, you have Julian Dallum getting it all the way out to the 42-yard line. Really nice return. That was they didn't quite go deep, but if you're St. Clair, and we talked about this last week, if you have a guy like Julian Dallum who is both an incredible playmaker and so versatile, it allows you to be a little more multiple on the offensive side of the ball.
For sure. And Julian's a kid who, offensively thus far this season hasn't had a ton of touches or anything like that. But at some point in time he's gonna hit a breakout, and he's gonna do some really special things, and he's shown that he can do that. And it's great to see him on the defensive side of the ball making some really great plays, and nice to see a great return out of him right there too.
He's a heck of a basketball player also, for you guys who are doing the bingo game every time I mention hoops. All right, so here come the Panthers. This could be the last play of the third quarter. Wells Hands and Corey is met in the backfield. And, yeah, I mean, the Panthers are going to have to do some different things even with this backup unit, because they are just really sending linebackers now.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty you kind of feel for this unit, because these guys are really excited to get in there. But it's not a 5-on-5 blocking here. We're talking, they're bringing 8 guys just about every play right now, because why not? They're not really worried about the Panthers going downfield and doing things like that at this point in time.
So how would you balance that if you were, in the situation as a coach? How would you balance okay, this game is out of hand, mercy rule's running, I don't want to embarrass anybody, versus, we still got to practice stuff, we still got to get reps, and they're trying, they got their players, and
Yeah.
how do you balance that?
Honestly, it's a tricky thing as a coach, I'm sure, and I've never been in that situation like Coach Junko is, but you want to get as many guys a chance as you can, right? And I think that's kind of a part of it at this point in time. You do want to make it out of here healthy as well. So, it is what it is. And obviously, Coach Junko, the previous series, he tried a pass play, and I think we'll see a little bit of that too. At this point in time, it doesn't really matter in terms of the clock, because the clock's going to run whether it's complete or incomplete anyhow. So it's not a factor in that. But yeah, it's not something you're going to fret too much though at this point in time.
No,
I don't think.
understood. Yeah, so the Panthers, as we start the fourth quarter here, the Panthers lead 35-7. Once the mercy rule starts, I don't believe it ever stops. So, we are going to have a running clock. It is going to be a pretty quick fourth quarter, most likely. But, that's not to say you should turn off your broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. There's always interesting things to see. There's always things to learn. And you might see some different faces who are the next future stars of Panther teams in the upcoming years ahead. So.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the beginning of the year, too, is that, for every team around the WPIAL, they're trying to figure out who are those next guys, right? And then once some of those guys break out, it might be, can't believe I didn't realize that guy was going to be that good. So
yeah, all of a sudden somebody can get in your rotation fast by putting some reps on film.
Yep.
All right, so we've got second and about 13, it looks like, from the Panthers 38 as we begin the fourth quarter. Wells is still in at quarterback. Dante Corey is behind him in the backfield here. And Carter Stein is to his left as a sidecar. Beck Shields is the tight end right now. Still have that same second group at the line. Austin Middleton's done a nice job when he's coming at center. It's nice to have a guy that's reliable as a backup center. That's, if something can go bad on the line, that's particularly since everybody runs shotgun now.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Once you start running shotgun, that position becomes a whole heck of a lot harder.
All right, Wells is back. They're looking for the out there. Nice throw, nice catch.
There we
I
go.
like that. Very nice. Who was that? I can't tell.
That was Howe, I believe.
Marshall Howe, the senior.
Yeah, Wells is a very accurate passer as well. Maybe not quite as strong of an arm as Hellman, but Braden, very, very accurate, a very calm kid under pressure. So good situation.
Another multi-sport guy, likes the baseball. And it looks like we had some pre-snap movement there. Yep, so we're going to back it up. We went from 3rd and 5, which I kind of like, to 3rd and 10, which I don't like quite as badly. But you expect this. When you have guys who aren't getting nearly as many live reps in practice, you're probably going to see some of this. It isn't too surprising, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of what we're seeing right now is probably similar to what's going to be seen tomorrow morning in the JV game. It looks like both teams are bringing in a lot of those guys right now.
Unfortunately, that is not at home because, as I described earlier, when they're play the varsity game at home, you play the JV game on the road. I can't wait till the first home game I get to watch the JVs. Here's Wells. He's getting blitzed hard. He throws to the outside. This is Beck Shields. Nice open field tackle. Beck Shields is a really strong kid. The guy did number 12, Kelly McCarthy, did a really nice job getting him to the ground.
They have McCarthy listed as only being 155 pounds. If he just made that tackle one-on-one at 155 pounds, I give him a whole heck of a lot of credit because that was a very, very nice tackle.
Yep, so we got 4th down. It looks like let's see if they do anything different here on the protection here on the punt. We've seen a bit of a struggle here. Brad, Alex Park would like me to say hello and tell you how handsome you are.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. My last time coaching at the high school was Alex Park's last game. And
that went well.
That was playing against Aaron Donald. In case you ever heard of him, he was okay.
I've told Alex this. That's a really nice punt by Jacobo, by the way. Going to end up being about a 48-yard net. I've told Alex a million times. I said, although he got absolutely obliterated all night by Aaron Donald. It was probably the most dominant performance I've ever seen by an interior lineman in a high school football game. But I laugh because he'll always have the story that his high school football career ended courtesy of maybe the best defensive football player that the NFL has seen in the modern era.
I mean, he's unbelievable, you know, and I just remember the meetings going into that week and about how good he was, and then it brought up a lot of the guys from the past, you know, how did we treat LeVar, you know, an interesting North Hills product, or Ron Graham and Brandon Short, you know, like all those guys came up, and it was funny because I think people recognized at the time that he was going to be that special. So
yeah, we played them in the stadium 2 years in a row when I was in high school. Ronnie Graham from Penn Hills, and then Brandon Short from McKeesport, who was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you never forget those guys. So this is McCarthy. They have the backup quarterback in the game. We just talked about him making a tackle. Going to the back, this is Michael Albert. Good pursuit. He and Corey meet at the ball carrier, do a nice job. Israel Armstead, who's in playing some linebacker, he's a little bit of a different change of pace there from the back position, but gets about 2. Nice pursuit from the Panthers.
Jake Caceres getting in here at free safety here, making an appearance in the game.
Hey, my man. I coached Jake this last year also.
And aside from that, it looks like we got a lot of the same faces from the past few
Siamak's
series.
in on defense, it looks like.
Yes.
Oh, and Cheese is in at the left defensive end. Chase Komarzik. All right, 2nd and 8. Another handoff. And he slips through. Looks like he tripped over the leg of maybe his offensive lineman, but he gets about 4 or 5. All right, so 3rd and 8 as the clock continues to tick here in the 4th quarter. See what our Panther youngsters here can do to get a stop. It's going to be another handoff. Oh, boy. Big Chase was in the backfield. He didn't quite get there, and it's going to be a nice gain for North Hills. Albert brings him down along with Caceres, but not before we've got a first down at the Panther 38 for North Hills.
Yeah, nice run there. Yeah, Chase was running that down a little bit, couldn't catch up to it from the backside.
Man, he is a big kid.
He moves very, very well. You know, it's great to I love seeing defensive linemen who run well. You know, that's something that when I was a running back, I didn't like those guys running well. I wanted to run away from those guys. You don't want to get hit by the guys who weigh twice as much as you.
No, not if they can get ahead of steam. All right, another handoff. This is Armstead again. Nice job. Oh, is that a face mask? That may have been a face mask. Albert did a really nice job closing that down at the line of scrimmage, but that flag was thrown quickly, and it looked like in that spot.
Yeah, waiting to see what the call is here. I'm not sure if it was face mask, horse collar, what it looks. Yeah, face mask. Yeah, that can sometimes happen when you're kind of diving. You're not necessarily trying to get it, but you know you're kind of grabbing whatever you can grab, and if your hand's up too high, that's the result.
Yeah, so Beck Shields has whistled for the. I guess it's considered a personal foul. It's the 15-yard variety. So North Hills is once again across midfield and driving a little bit here. Another handoff. Oh, boy, that was Beck Shields again. Beck Shields says, okay, you might have got me that time, but I'm going to lay the wood the next series. And he does a great job getting in the backfield for a loss there.
Very nice play. Very nice play. Yeah, you want to see swarming, right? You don't want one-on-one tackles whenever possible. You want to see as many guys at the ball at all times, and that's what the Panthers just had right there.
Yeah, very good. I'm seeing some really good things here from some of the younger defenders here, making penetration, not getting gashed. Good stuff. So we've got 2nd and 11 here. North Hills just looks like they're working on some of their bread and butter stuff. You know, they're not like chucking it or anything. They're doing a lot of run. He's going wide here, looking for the pitch man. Oh, that's a great play. Peter Angle from that outside linebacker spot. Read it beautifully and dove in and made a great sure tackle.
Very, very nice play. It's interesting how North Hills is running this option because the quarterback doesn't look like he has any interest in pitching it. I mean, he had that ball in his opposite hand, so they make it look like an option, but it doesn't look like there's actually a chance to pitch it.
unless he's an ambidextrous pitcher. That would be real. Man, could you imagine that? Like, I don't know, the guy they always talk about from SMU
Yeah,
in
I
their
know who
glory
you're
day.
talking about, yep.
McElhaney, he was like the greatest pitchman of all time.
Graydon Altair coming in on the D line here right now, playing the left defensive tackle.
Yeah, I like seeing the seniors get love. All right, 3rd and 12. Boy,
Ball,
and it's
ball.
a fumble.
There we go.
And he's that Siamax down on it. So when you get young guys, that's what you worry about with some of the RPO stuff, that exchange, and Panthers are going to get a fumble recovery.
Very, very well done. Excited to see that, and you love seeing the sidelines erupt for a guy, and that's what's happening right now, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, I'm up there in the weight room a lot with those guys, and he's a very popular guy.
Good for him. Good for him. Making a big play here. No matter what, even if you win, you still don't want to see any scores be given up, and I think guys do take pride in keeping the points down, and so they're excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is high school football, okay? I don't want to try to make this sound like it's, the NFL. These are kids, and there's a lot of fun stuff that happens down there. Some of this is really experienced stuff, and you just love to see that. A kid will remember that forever.
For sure.
All right, Cooper Rackley in the game here, number 38. He's going to play, looks like in the tailback spot. Braden's going to have to hustle up here as the play clock is winding down. He's going to get it off. This is Rackley, and again, those linebackers are shooting in hard here. Just too many guys to block, Brad.
Yeah, it's not an easy situation right now. Okay, let's see.
All right, 2nd and 11 here for the Panthers. Wells in it again. He's in the shotgun. Gives it to Rackley, juggles a little bit, breaks a tackle, breaks another one, gets good forward lean, gets about 3 or 4 to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that was nice, getting some positive yards there. Very nice job. Looks like we got another new body or two here on the offensive line. I believe 51 Kenny Davis is in its center. And right guard, that might be 53 AJ Calusi. So we got a few new guys in the game here.
Yeah, I mean, you get the guys get some reps, get some live film. 3rd and 8. Wells is going to throw. He's got an out route. Did he get his foot down? It was a nice catch.
He's calling him in.
Nice throw, nice catch.
Good catch by Randy.
Yeah, Randy Ann, who's gotten some reps here at the receiver spot, and this gets it a very manageable 4th down here, about 4th and 2.
Yeah, that puts you in a position where you might as well take the shot here.
Absolutely.
Inside the 40, running clock, no reason not to.
All right, let's see what the Panthers come up with. It looks like North Hills is cheating up pretty good here to the line of scrimmage. This is Rackley. He's looking for a hole. No dice. And the ball on the ground. Not that it matters. It's going to be a turnover on downs with 3:45 to play. So, yeah, Panthers got a little more positive plays there. Got some guys. Made some real nice plays. Some of the younger guys. So, I think you're very happy with that series of downs comparatively.
Yeah, some positive yards there. Randy gets a catch. Braden with a very nice pass. And, good things. You want to see good things.
So, Brad, as we sort of move on here, we have Baldwin next week, which Baldwin's getting smacked by the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, who are obviously a power. But do you think there's the ability here, as the schedule's a little more favorable early on, we have Fox Chapel at home after that, to kind of build momentum into when the hard part of the schedule gets here? Is that a thing, do you think, from football?
I do think it's a thing to an extent, but there also is a battle testing of this that you want to make sure you have too, right? And, the Panthers schedule finishes very difficult, and I think that's going to be one of those things where it's going to be really important to make sure that guys are 100% ready to go, especially as they're getting more into the conference schedule and into some of these, really rivalry games. So it is going to be really critical for them to use these next few weeks wisely.
It's always an interesting balance. Coach Holzer plays Murderers Row in the preseason, which I like on average to test us. There are times when we'll have a younger team. I always laugh. Hey, can you throw in like a cupcake here just one or so we can get some reps, get some confidence, get some feel good, maybe have an easy night. But he's not really wired that way, and I get it. He's not about to pad his win total against Patsy's, but
well, and like in baseball, I feel the same way where I want to see really good pitching. We want to see really good opponents and do that. Football's a little bit different in the sense of you don't want to get your guys beat up because, you can get pretty banged up, and then that's something you deal with quite a bit. And if you face too many of those too often, it can be a little bit of a predicament. That being said, you still want to be battle tested, right? And you never know year to year, how everybody's going to go either. So, quite frankly, I don't think anybody expected this game to go the way that it has, with this being a mercy roll game after the first offensive series of the second half. So, kudos to the Panthers for making it look like this is a game that was a real easy one, because I don't think that on paper it appeared that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny, and sports is like this, particularly when you're dealing with high school kids. These are not pros by any means. There's a little more sort of inconsistency, but I thought last Friday was more likely to go like that.
Correct.
And tonight, North Hills, first of all, classic program, played Bethel Park tough last week.
Yep. Always
hard-nosed kids. You just don't expect this at all based upon everything you know about North Hills. But again, any given night.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the year to year is just so significant too. Who the new faces are and where you face them in the season as well.
All right, so McCarthy's going to keep. Nice pursuit there. Number 43, who we don't have on the roster. We've talked about Brad and I were trying to figure it out internally here, but that was a nice tackle. I don't know who it is. I don't know if they dressed one of the freshmen.
I was waiting to hear from the PA announcer if he had the number, and I don't have that. We don't have that number, so apologies that we're missing somebody here.
Pretty sure he has the exact same roster we have, so seems like that may be an issue that we'll have to rectify for next week. McCarthy fakes the handoff. He's going to run wide, forcing him to the outside here. Nice pursuit. So Randy Ann did a really nice job, again, on the defensive side of the ball, sort of holding him up, forcing him outside. Cooper Ackley, 38, finished him off, along with 37, Jonah Seelig.
I like that. I like seeing that gang tackling there that we just had. So, well done there.
Yeah, I mean, the young guys are really doing a nice job, but on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like, a lot of times when you see them come in, you get gashed. They're younger guys. Our defense is really holding their own nicely.
They are. They're competing, and that's what you want to see out of these. You want to see guys compete.
They only scored on, kind of a bomb. I mean, it wasn't like they're methodically driving the ball up the field. Yep. All right, 3rd and 4, 2:20 to play. Boy, Big Chase almost got him again. Nice tackle from Lima Manna, but that looks like they got the first down there. But again, not easy here for North Hills. They're not getting big chunks or anything like that. The Panthers
Correct.
are doing a nice job.
Yeah, well done, well done. Noah Lilja checking in the game here at our corner here on the near side.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a nicer film session this week. Like I said, I heard film was tough last week, and it's nice to have a nicer one. Oh, nice job on the outside there. Jake Caceres came in, the safety, number 41, and totally blew that up. Rackley, 38, Mamana, 11, finish him off. But, again, we're seeing really good positives here from the younger Panther defenders, and they're really going to the ball, as Brad said.
Yeah, it is really nice to see. It is good to see these guys getting in there, getting their chance, and getting to make plays and executing when they get the opportunity.
All right, so 2nd and 11 here as we get to just about a minute left to play. Looking forward, as I said, we've got the Baldwin Highlanders away next weekend, and then we'll be back for Hall of Fame night on the 15th against the Fox Chapel Foxes. So a lot of exciting, nice stuff from the Panthers. There, Chiefs finally got in there and got him. He blew that up. Very nice.
Great play by Chase, and also Cooper Rackley in on that plate.
Yeah, so moral of
he's getting a lot of love out there from
I love
too,
it,
which is great.
Moral of the story is the Panthers are moving to 2-0. We're off to a good start this season. Come out and support these guys. They are worthy. It's a great group of kids, and they need your support. Much as I love having you guys here listen to my broadcasts, nothing better than coming out and really supporting these guys in person.
For sure, for sure.
This will probably be our last snap, and we got a fumble, and McCarthy's just going to dive on it. This is probably going to be it. Brad, as we close this down, any big takeaways from tonight?
Again, bringing it back to the first thing that you brought up, Gavin, is the idea of week 1 being better than week 0. We were, and I think that's the big thing for Upper St. Clair is the idea that we saw a lot of guys take a step forward, and it's one game, so you don't want to put everything on that one game, but they were given a chance to bounce back. They competed. We tackled well. We executed well on offense. We saw so many positive things, and I'm really happy for the guys and the coaches to see them show up and be better, because get better each week. You put yourself in a position at the end of the season to compete in the playoffs, and that's really what I think they did this week.
Well, kudos to the coaches who really had them ready. Kudos to the kids who were fabulous tonight. The Panthers roll over North Hills by a score of 35-7 to move to 2-0. Brad, thank you so much for joining me, man. It's been a great pleasure having you by my side tonight.
Really enjoyed it.
And I'm sure we'll do it again. For Brad Wilson, I am Gavin Williams signing off. Good night, everybody.